Now, did you really think that I was going to abandon the Everett Elks, the greatest franchise in NHL history, a franchise who has gone through a ton of trials and tribulations, won a handful of Stanley Cups, lost all of their players, and then won a Stanley Cup again? I can never forget the Everett Elks and everything we've done for this franchise. However, there actually is one thing that we've never done with the Everett Elks, and that's a 25-year rebuild. We're going to start with a team of all stick on the ice legends, and if you want to see a name or a name you pick in a future video, then click the first link in the description and you can become a stick on the ice legend. But we're going to take over this team right here and we're going to rebuild them. We're going to rebuild them for the next 25 years and we're going to win countless Stanley Cups with the Everett Elks. Now, of course, there's only one logical thing we can do. We're a team of only 50 overall players. We're not winning any games this season. No matter how you spin it, this team is going to be incredibly bad. So we're not making any trades. In honor of the Everett Elks, in every video they've been involved in, we're just simulating season number 1. We're going to trust the team here, and we're going to hope they somehow go 82-0, even though we all know that's not going to happen. So let's go ahead and simulate the season. Watch this team lose every single game, and then somehow get the 3rd overall pick. Because we all know it's going to happen. We're going to drop from 1 to 3, and we're getting the 3rd overall pick. It's almost guaranteed. Okay, I don't know what just happened, but the Everett Elks did something they have never done before. They have won a game. This team somehow just won a game. I don't know who they beat. It better not have been the St. Louis Blues. It probably was the St. Louis Blues. Nope, they beat the Montreal Canadiens 6-5. This team scored 6 goals in a game. How did we score 6 goals in a game? Up until this point, 12-0, 8-1, 7-0, 8-2, 9-1, 5-2. We scored 6 goals in one game. How did we do that? No, hold on. We got to go back to that game. Where is that game where the Everett Elks beat the Montreal Canadiens, those absolute frauds? So it was this game right here, the OT winner. I don't know how we did that. It makes no sense, but we got to look at this. Shout out to James picking up 3 points for us, 3 assists. Then we have Graham. He's picking up 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Max is picking up 2 points. Miles is picking up 2. Young Lean's picking up a point here. Stones is picking up 1. No, we really did that. Heinrich is picking up a point. Moon's picking up 1. Kilroy, Redmond. No, this team really did that. We really beat the Montreal Canadiens. And then who was in between the pipes? Was it Ricky Lafleur? Of course it was Ricky Lafleur, an absolute masterclass. A 911 save percentage. He made 51 saves. He is a 50 overall. A team of all 50 overall players beat the Montreal Canadiens. They have Patrick Laine, they have Kirby Dach. Lane Hutson's on this team, Nick Suzuki's on this team, Cole Caulfield's on this team, Slafkovsky's on this team, and y'all lost to the 50 overall Everett Elks. Y'all need to relocate, you have to sell the team, you didn't do that. Now we really did the impossible this season. A 1-81 record, 1 win in overtime, it shouldn't even have been possible. We scored 56 goals this season. Over 10% of our goals came in one game. We scored 6 goals in one game. That doesn't make sense. Montreal, you are complete and utter frauds. Taking a quick look at the numbers here, we can't. I don't know why we can't. We also can't look at AHL numbers. We're not going to worry about it. But all we have to know is this team won 1 game. The Rangers are winning the Stanley Cup, taking the Dallas Stars down in 6 games. With the way the Rangers look right now, I don't think there's any chance they win the Stanley Cup. But hey, crazier things have happened. And one of those crazy things would be us actually getting the 1st overall pick here. We all know for a fact we're going to drop to 3. What a surprise. The Everett Elks dropping from 1 to 3. This is heartbreaking, but we all knew it was going to happen. No, like seriously, it happens every single time. No matter what happens, the Everett Elks are going to drop from 1 to 3. It's honestly to be expected at this point. Now, really, there's only one thing that could make this worse. A franchise potential player projected number 1. Now, I don't think there should be. Gavin McKenna's not until next season, and then Len DuPont's the year after that. But is there going to be a franchise potential player here? Potentially. We have Marty Murray. We don't really know too much about him. What's his overall going to be? What's his potential going to be? Franchise potential. You hate to see it. You really do. Now, like, we really could have gotten a franchise potential player. Instead, we're going to walk away with Roger McQueen. Now, honestly, that's not the end of the world here. I'm perfectly fine with Roger McQueen. But yeah, we could have had a medium franchise potential player. Now, there's really nothing that can help me get over this. Except for one thing. You subscribing to the channel and helping me hit 74k subs by the end of the month. We got to start the new year off right here. So subscribe to the channel. You're watching the content for a reason. You got to love it. So you might as well subscribe to the channel. We're also getting another great prospect here. He's going to have medium top 6 potential. Victor Eklund. Yeah, that background green is very bright when you have the white lettering on top of that. He is a 69 overall, but that is very difficult to see. Now, Jack Ivankovic, I know for a fact that you're not going to have medium franchise potential. potential, but you are going to have medium elite potential. You're going to be a great goaltender for us in the future. Starting off as a 63 overall, what a steal in the 3rd round here. We just got the future goaltender for this franchise. Honestly, this has been a really good draft so far. No, I can confidently say this is the best way to start off this video. We're getting a low elite potential player as well. There have been no misses in this draft. It's just been hit after hit. So I guess we're going to figure out if that's going to continue into the 7th round here. I'm not expecting a hit here in the 7th round. Like, we're just going to take a risk at this point. Can we get another low elite potential player here? Silverthorne, are you going to be that guy for us? I highly doubt it. Low 7th D potential. That's a bit more realistic. So we have nothing to worry about here in the re-sign phase. Everyone's going to be walking. We're still going to have our stick on the ice legends under contract, but we're hitting free agency here. We're going to find some absolute steals, and we're going to bring some star players to the team. Just kidding. We won 1 game last season. Absolutely nobody wants to join our team. We're just going to look for any steal we can get here. A guy like Brett Burns honestly might not be bad, because at least we can trade him away at the trade deadline. So yeah, I'll do 6.5 for 1 season. Brett Burns, welcome to the team. The first ever free agent signing. I'm not against that. You know who else is willing to join the team here? Luke Hughes. Except he's an RFA, so yeah, that's not going to happen. So you know what? Let's go ahead and make some free agent signings. All right, so we're just going to spend a bag here in free agency. Starting with Jonathan Drouin, $4 million for the next 5 years. He's going to be a good trade asset in the future. Everybody we're bringing to the team right now probably won't last more than 2 seasons. I'm going to be honest. They're going to be getting flipped. Unless they turn to absolute star players, they're not going to last here too long. Moving over to Nick Perbix next. It's going to be 2.7 for 2 years. I can guarantee you right now, he's going to be flipped at the trade deadline. He'll be up to an 84 overall, and we're going to capitalize on his trade value. That is not a speculation. That is a fact. And you know what? When it comes to everyone else here, I don't think I'm going to show the free agent signings. It's going to be just guys like Yanni Gourde, 2 years, 2.6 million. I don't think you need to see every single one of these signings. Now look at this team right here. I can guarantee you we're winning 20-some games, and that's probably about it. We have depth pieces throughout the entire lineup. We do not have a single person here that's probably going to step up in the big time games. We do have 85 overall Brett Burns. We'll trade him at 50% retained, get a couple assets for him. But yeah, this team is not looking that great right now. Granted, these are all the free agent signings I made. We don't want to make any trades yet. I don't want to rush the process here. We're probably not going to make any trades till year 3 or year 4. I don't want to trade any of our valuable picks away quite yet. But you know what? We have a handful of guys here that ideally are going to progress over the season, and then we'll be able to trade them away. Their value is going to go up a ton here. We might be able to get some decent assets heading into next season, but you know what? We can't rush the process with the Everett Elks. That's not the Everett Elks way. The Everett Elks believe in the slow grind, and that's what we're going to do today. Just adding one player at a time. That's what we're doing. So if I told you that the Everett Elks were really bad this season, would you be surprised? A 22, 37, and 6 record. But you know what? It's not about this season. It's about the future of this team. Jake Evans, we picked you up in free agency. You got 41 points so far. Mason Appleton, you got 40 points. Brett Burns, 39. We're making some trades here. We're going to make some big time deals. We're going to free up some cap space. We actually don't have to free up cap space. We just have to bring in some young assets that are going to help this team in the future. Now, I don't really know what the team's trade value is looking like, but Jonathan Drouin, that's not too bad. Look at Perbix. I said he would be up to an 84 overall, and I said he would have higher trade value, and that's what he has. So if I were to combine these two guys, we might be cooking. So are we cooking? Jonathan Drouin and Perbix for Zane Parekh. They're going to say no to this deal, but I actually wouldn't be against giving up a 2nd round pick for next season. Like, our 2nd round pick's going to have a lot of value. That might be enough for us to get Zane Parekh in this deal, and we're basically trading a 2nd rounder for Zane Parekh. I'm actually really okay with that. So this is the second deal we're looking at. It's going to be Brett Burns at 50% retained over to the Vancouver Canucks. We're bringing in Lecker-Mackey. Lecker-Mackey will be a really good piece for us in the future. He's a good young player. On top of him, though, we're going to have to trade somebody else away. And honestly, Jake Evans, I can trade you away here. Like, you're going to be walking at the end of this season, so Lecker-Mackey would definitely be a good replacement for you. But how about we bring somebody else here as well? And why don't we bring in Höglander, a great piece, a stick on the ice legend. And you know what? We got to combine the stick on the ice legends with the Everett Elks legends. That's how this team's going to see success in the future. Now, I'm incredibly impressed with the Everett Elks, but I'm not sure if I should actually use the word impressed or just disappointed with 2 other teams in the entire league. Like, we finished with 29 wins, yet we were 3 wins better than San Jose and 2 wins better than Utah. How were y'all that bad this season? Like, you had worse goaltending than we did. That shouldn't be possible. I mean, goaltending wise, we weren't bad, but we didn't have great forwards here. We didn't have great defense. We didn't have great anything. Lecker-Mackey, since you joined the team here, what'd you do? You had 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points. Honestly, I'll definitely take that. And then Höglander, I'm expecting you to have similar numbers. You were also on the first line. 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points. You were +2. You know what? I had pretty low expectations for this team, so I'll definitely take these numbers. Kevin Lankinen, 18 wins. Alex Lyon, you're going to be picking up 11. But the real question, can we get the first overall pick? We finished 3rd last in the entire league. We saw a wildcard team make the Stanley Cup final. We saw Florida make the Stanley Cup final. They were third in their division, and Florida swept the 4th-seeded Vegas Golden Knights. This was a wild season, but are we going to get the first overall pick here? Like last season when we were the worst team in the entire league, we didn't get the first overall pick, so are we going to jump? Nope, we're just going to drop from 3 to 5. It happens every year. But I guess the real question is, do we trade for the first overall pick? Actually, we don't have to worry about it. We're going to be getting a couple good players here. I just remembered something because it's incredibly stupid, but we're not going to worry about it. We got ourselves 2 great players. Okay, my massive big brain plan is no longer a massive big brain plan anymore. For some reason, because Gavin McKenna has low franchise potential now and not medium franchise potential, don't really understand that, but that's neither here nor there. I thought he dropped down to like the 12th overall range. So I was kind of hoping if he was projected around 12th, maybe we could have traded back from like 5 to 7, still got a mediumly potential player, and with the extra assets we got, then got Gavin McKenna. But instead, we're just going to draft Gavin McKenna 5th overall. If he's available, I'm assuming he will be. He's not going to be drafted 4th. We're going to pass up on this medium gem right here. We're going with Gavin McKenna. Bro's looked like an absolute superstar this season. A 78 overall to begin his career. Nah, Bro's going to be a beast. No question about it. Now, Ivan Kovic, the plan was for you to be our future goaltender. But we just got a mediumly potential goaltender who's a 60 overall. So who knows who's going to be our future goaltender. Ivan Kovic has a bit of a rival when it comes to being the future goaltender for this team. So I guess it's really going to depend on who develops the quickest. Now, this draft might not have been quite as good for us. But you know what? We still got Gavin McKenna. So Gavin McKenna alone is going to be the difference maker. We definitely came out on top here. Now, we have a couple players on expiring contracts here, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not really focused on bringing any of these guys back. I mean, Mason Appleton, I guess we could bring you back. And you know what? We have lots of cap space. So what am I talking about? Everyone's coming back here. Mason Appleton's going to be $3 million for the next 2 years. Actually, I lied again. Robbie Fabry, you're probably going to walk. I think we'll let Robbie Fabry walk. Sam Steele will return to the team, $2.9 million. But you know what? I lied about my lie. Robbie Fabry, why wouldn't we bring you back to the team? We'll do 3.1 for the next 3 years. I'm just lying about lying, but that's neither here nor there. Nisimont, I'll bring you back as well because I said I would bring everyone back here, so here's 1.7. When I said I would bring everyone back, I just meant the free agents I signed last season. These 2 guys can walk. I don't even know who they are. I don't know how they ended up on this team. Kevin Lankinen, you're an 84 overall. And you know what? The team is better this season, so we can do 4.6 for 3 years. Why not? Now, unfortunately, with the team being as bad as we are, there's really not that many players interested in joining the team. The best we could do is a guy like Jake Wallman, 86 overall. This would be a tough deal to get done. I'm not really too sure if I want to do it. Is Jake Wallman really going to be a star defenseman for us in the future? I'm not too sure. But you know what? We do need a bit of help here, and him and Zane Parekh on the top line. Honestly, it could be worse. So Jake Wallman, St. Louis Blues legend, welcome to the team. If you accept that deal. Like, there's a very high chance he says no to that just because he doesn't want to join our team. Patrick Laine, on the other hand, I know you have basically no interest in joining our organization, but I have interest in bringing you to the team. So here's 6.3 for the next 3 years. Please accept that. And then when it comes to any other deals, we're probably not going to do too much here. We have to embrace the tank. Thatcher Demko. This is very tempting. I'm very tempted to bring him to the team, but I'm not doing 12.5 million. He also has a lot of organizational interest, but he just doesn't fit the timeline here. In 99.9% of situations, I'd bring him to the team. Not in this one, though. So you know what? This is a great start. Jake Wallman's going to join the team here, but Patrick Laine is going to decline. That one hurts me. That one hurts me deep in my soul. Now, you know what? We better not get too far ahead of ourselves here because there are some very important things we forgot to do, and that's handing out extensions. Morgan Frost, I want to keep you on this team. I want to do 3.5 million for the next 3 years. That's going to be a great deal with you. Lecker you're another guy I want to keep on this team. You were fantastic last season, but let's try to do multiple years here. How about we do 2.2 for the next 2? It's just a short-term deal with Lecker, but you know what? Eventually, we will be locking him down long-term. Kevin Ball, you have high top 4 potential, so you know what? If you somehow develop into that, it's going to be worth it. So yeah, we'll do 2.7 for the next 2 years. That'll keep you around at a pretty cheap price. It's actually less than what you're getting paid right now. Yanni Gord, we're just going to let you walk. You're 34 years old. Kovacevic, we could probably get a good deal done as well. How about we do 3.7 for 3 years? That's not too bad. Now I'm going to be honest. We got one more year of competitive tanking here. We don't want to do too many trades. We're going to competitively tank this season. We're going to make sure this team's in a good spot for next season. So once we make all the big moves over the offseason, we're going to be able to win a Stanley Cup. Jake Wallman, Zane Parekh, I think that's a pretty decent first pairing. When it comes to goaltending, we got Kevin Lankinen here, 84 overall. This isn't a Stanley Cup winning team right here. That is very clear. But we're building for the future. We're building through the draft here. We're just trying to find little steals. And you know what? Don't be surprised if we make some trades at the deadline. We're going to be selling some pieces here. So what can I say? We almost have as many wins as we did last season at the trade deadline. The Everett Elks are 22nd in the entire league, a 28, 26, and 10 record. we're not looking awful here. Like, we don't look good by any means, but we certainly look better than we did last season. Yanni Gourde, you probably have a decent amount of trade value we're going to capitalize on. Robbie Fabry, you're -2. The top line is atrocious. Does that surprise me? Not really. But Zane Parekh, 33 points so far. You're an 81 overall. You're going to be a star defenseman for us in the future. I can see it now. When it comes to goaltending, Kevin Lankinen, 24 wins, 1 shot, a 900 save percentage, and a 332. I'm not stressing about this season. We're going to make some trades here. We're going to be even worse after the trade deadline. We're going to get a decent enough pick, and then next season we're taking over the league. Or at least that's what I hope happens. Now hear me out here. Nick Hague, Mason Appleton, both of you guys got some decent trade value. If I package both of you guys up and we can find a team that wants both of you, like the Boston Bruins, can we get a star player? Like, Boston's not going to have anything I'm interested in, but if we can find somebody else who's a decent enough team that's going to have some decent prospects, it could be worth it. Even a deal with the Carolina Hurricanes like Seth Jarvis, I would be interested in this. We bring in Seth Jarvis. He's got medium league potential. He's going to keep on getting better here. He's an 88 overall. However, Seth Jarvis, I don't really like the way you sim. I'm just going to be honest. You don't really sim that well. So we're going to pass up on Seth Jarvis for now, but we'll probably come back to him. Okay, now this is interesting. Connor Bedard and Kaprizov on the same team. Okay, then. Okay, we might be low-key cooking. Mason Appleton and Nick Hague over to the Edmonton Oilers. We bring in Matt Savoy. We're going to give Matt Savoy a chance to develop on this team. Like, he's going to play top-line minutes for us. We'll probably trade Morgan Frost away. This is definitely the deal we have to do. I don't know what else we have to give up in this deal. Maybe I just trade Morgan Frost away and hold on to Mason Appleton and use Mason Appleton in a different deal. So if I send this package over, Edmonton's going to say yes. Alright, Mason Appleton, we're still going to flip you. And low-key, this might be the other deal. Mason Appleton, Robbie Fabry over to the Washington Capitals for Protas and Parzak. Both of these guys would be good for the future of this team. They're two young players that are going to develop, but they're not really interested in both these guys. They're interested in Mason Appleton, but I don't think we can go 1-for-1 here, and I don't really want to give up any picks. But maybe I will give up a pick here. Like, our third rounder for next season might be enough to get this deal done, so I'm going to offer it in. They're saying no. What else do you want? Like, I'm okay with trading 7th round picks. If it's going to cost us 2 7th rounders, I'm not against that. And you know what? This could be the move. So Mason Appleton, a 3rd and 2 7ths for Protas. This is the move. Welcome to the team. We're worried about the future, and this is a deal that certainly helps us in the future. So with season 3 wrapping up, I didn't think I would say these words, but the Everett Elks weren't bad by any means. They weren't great, but 22nd in the entire league, a 35, 34, and 13 record. Definitely a great sign for the future here, especially with all the young talent on this team. However, I will say one thing. I'm a bit concerned I'm not seeing Matt Savoy immediately here. But Lekkernmäki, 62 points. He's got an X factor up to an 87 overall. That was an amazing trade for us. Protas, what's he up to? He's up to an 88 overall. That was another amazing deal. Hoglander, what are you up to? Do you have an X factor? You're an 85 overall. Don't have an X factor yet, but you know what? Eventually you're going to be getting one. I mean, I guess one thing I should consider with Matt Savoy, he wasn't playing top line minutes until he joined our team. So what did he do after joining our team? 16 points in 18 games. That's actually not bad. Like, he had 16 points in 66 games with Edmonton. Once he joined our team, he definitely stepped it up. So the team's trending in the right direction here. We got a lot of young talent on this team. Goaltending wise, eventually we're going to have to pick up a star. You know what? We have Ivan Kovic in the system. He's going to be a guy we can definitely rely on. Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup champions. That's going to be the Everett Elks sooner than later. But until then, let's just pray for a miracle here. Do we somehow get the 1st overall pick here? No, we don't. We get the 12th overall. Now, we probably won't get a medium potential player with the 12th overall pick, but we can always trade up. And I'm not saying we trade the 12th overall pick for the 6th overall pick. I'm saying we trade the 12th overall pick for the guy who gets drafted 6th overall, because it'll be way easier that way. Alright, so shout out to Stick on the Ice legend, Luke Kunin. Yeah, I didn't know you were a Stick on the Ice legend, but you're an 85 overall with a lot of trade value. But I might actually hold on to you because I think we might use you in a different deal. Robbie Fabry in the 12th overall over to the Montreal Canadiens, and we get this medium league potential player right here. Now, he was just drafted. He's an 81 overall sniper. He could be a really good player for us in the future, so I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. What if I give you Luke Kunin instead? I know Kunin has more trade value. It's not significantly more, but it might be enough to get this deal done. They're saying no. I think it's because we're not fitting their trade block. What are you actually interested in that I can give you? You want a young defenseman like Zane Parekh. Now, I can't do that, but maybe I can. So maybe we can get something done. Okay, how difficult would this be? Luke Kunin in the 12th overall for Pellikka and Edvinsson. Both of those guys would be amazing for us. I don't think we're going to be able to get both of them, but if we could, it would be incredible. Honestly, it would be a game changer. I'll give up Brazeau in this deal as well. Is that going to be enough for both players? They're saying no. I feel like we're very close to getting this deal done. And with that being said, do I just trade our 2nd round pick for next season? because if we can get both of these guys, that would be a game changer for us. They're saying no. How about we just get one of them? So how about you just give me Axel Sedin-Pellikka? I'll give you the 12th overall for him. You're saying no. What else do you want? I guess I could give you Luke Kunin, but if I'm giving you Luke Kunin, I want something back. Actually, I'm giving you Robbie Fabry. So we'll do Fabry in the 12th overall for Axel Sedin-Pellikka. They're saying no. Like, I know we're incredibly close to getting this deal done, so here's a 6th round pick as well. We got Pellikka, and now we're shipping him over to Montreal. So being sent over to the Montreal Canadiens, Axel Sedin-Pellikka, Luke Kunin, and then you're going to give me that sniper. So this package right here is going to be sent over to Montreal, but you know what? Maybe not. We might not have to include Luke Kunin in this deal. What if I give you a 3rd and 4th rounder? Because both of those picks match your trade block. You gain a mediumly potential player back. Yeah, let's just do Luke Kunin and keep it simple. We might be low-key getting finessed a little bit here, but you know what? We're just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Give me that sniper. Okay, they're not giving me the sniper. What's going on here? Do you really need these picks as well? I'll give you a 3rd rounder and a 4th rounder. The big deals are coming out. Please accept this. You should be accepting this. You know what? I'll just give you a 2nd round pick for next season. That 2nd round is not going to be super valuable. Just give me this sniper. Bro's good and all, but he's not that good. Here's all of this sent over. We got finesse there, but maybe we didn't. We definitely did. I mean, what am I talking about? We definitely got finesse there. All right, so when it comes to the re-sign phase, of course, there's going to be a couple people leaving. Obviously, we're going to sign Roger McQueen, and this lowly potential player we got, he's up to 77 overall. So what a draft pick that was. No, this team's going to be looking incredible next season. We might not be winning a Stanley Cup, but we're certainly going to be in a really good spot. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We can't focus on rookies right now. Yanni Gourde, you're going to be leaving the team. And Eastmont, you're going to leave the team here. Holtz, you can play some bottom 6 minutes for $2.5 million. I'm not against that. Kasperi Kapanen, you're going to walk here. Sam Steele, I think we're going to let you walk as well. And Sandberg, you're going to walk. Unless you're willing to accept a really cheap deal, that's definitely not happening. So we'll sign all of these rookies here. And then Gavin McKenna, I'll probably give you a deal as well. Also, Ivan Kovic, you're ready to jump to the lineup. You're going to be our backup goaltender next season. Bro's ready to roll. All right, we got some extensions to give out. Brazeau, I guess we can keep you around considering we're not really paying anyone on this team. We have $60 million in cap space. So yeah, here's $3 million for the next 3 years. Actually, we'll do less than that. We'll do 2.8 for the next 3. So Brazeau is going to be sticking around. Holglander, I think you're going to play some big minutes for us, but you only want a 1-year deal. So here's 1 year, $4.5 million. I know for a fact you're going to be accepting that. Holtz, Savoy, we'll figure that out later. Borgren, we're just going to ride out your contract, I think. And then Bo Aki, you know what? You're still a young player. We got you in that Edmonton deal. So $800K for the next 2. That's pretty solid in my books. Now with all of this cap space, can somebody please join this team? Is there anyone willing to join this team? Quinn Hughes is willing to, but I'm not giving bro $16.4 million. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Quinn Hughes, you're a great defenseman and all. I'm not doing that. Like, if anything, I'd be more interested in Alex DeBrincat's deal. Philip Hedels, I'm definitely not doing that. But out of all of these right here, DeBrincat's jumps out the most to me. But do we actually need more scorers on this team? I don't think so. We have a handful of snipers now. We got some power forwards. Scoring's not going to be an issue. Keeping the puck out of our net will be. Truthfully, I think we have to just trust the process here. Not make any stupid moves. Not send anyone to long-term deals. Morgan Geekie, we can do 2 years at $4 million. I'm not against that. Yeah, it's a bit expensive considering you're going to play some bottom 6 minutes for us, but it's not the end of the world. Sam Steele, I didn't bring you back to the team, but you know what? I changed my mind. Here's 3.6 for 1 season. Once again, as a bottom 6 player, you play your role here. And then we'll sign one more forward to the team. Truthfully, I don't care who it is. I don't care how many years it is. So how about we do 38-year-old Logan Couture, 1 year at $1.9 million. Does this make sense for us? Absolutely not. But why not? Now, this team is very interesting to say the least. We have a lot of great young players, a lot of guys who have a lot of potential here, but are we going to be able to win? I don't think so. We're going to be a fringe playoff team once again here. I don't think we'll quite get in just because we're lacking when it comes to goaltending, but you know what? That's going to change in the future. Ivan Kovic, you're going to be a star player for us, no question about it. At 20 years old, you're already a 78 overall. So yeah, bro's going to be at least an 88 overall when he's in his prime. But is this goaltending tandem and this defense good enough to get us into the postseason? I don't think so. I think we're just lacking that it factor right now, but you really never know. So the Everett Elks are taking steps in the right direction here. 17th in the entire league, a 32-24-6 record. But as I mentioned earlier, I just don't think this team's ready to win yet. We don't have the goaltending. The defense is a little bit questionable here, but we can always make some moves to improve that. When it comes to the forward core, I like what we have here. Lecker-Mackey, 55 points, that's not bad. Holglander, 51, not bad. Morgan Geekie, I might trade you away. We just have you locked down to a 1-year deal. Never mind, it's a 2-year deal at $4 million. We could trade you away because you probably have a decent amount of trade value. Okay, why are the depth pieces showing up? Sam Steele, really good so far. Savoy, been mid. The rookie we traded for, actually not bad. 40 points so far, 20 goals, 20 assists. He hasn't been too bad here. But yeah, some of the players stepping up for us, didn't expect that. Ivan Kovic, you have been atrocious. Oh boy, now I'm a bit concerned. Yeah, those numbers, not great for your rookie season. But you know what? We're going to make a couple trades here. We're going to do a bit of selling. We're not ready to win yet, but next season we'll be taking that next step. Then again, I've said that for the past couple years now, but we don't want to rush the process here. We got to take it one step at a time. Okay, now this could actually be a decent deal for us. Kevin Ball and Morgan Geekie shipped over to the Buffalo Sabres. We get Bo Byram and JJ Peterka. Bo Byram already has a better fit on our defensive pairings because Kevin Ball, it's basically non-existent. And then JJ Peterka, he's got the potential, and that's really the main reason we're making a deal like this. JJ Peterka, a lot of potential. He could be a great player for us, but we're also upgrading the defense here, and that's also huge. All right, so Will Borgren, you're a stick on the ice legend. You always perform for us when it matters. However, I'm going to trade you away here. We're picking up Soulsville. Once again, we're mainly doing a deal like this because he has a better chance of fitting on the third pairing. Supposedly, he fits on all defensive pairings, and that would be great for us. So we're going 1-for-1 here, and I'm actually very surprised they're not accepting 1-for-1. Apparently, we're not in the same ballpark. But if I give you this 7th round pick right here, are we in the same ballpark? So I'll offer this over? Yes, we are. Columbus is wildin'. So we rebuilt the defense. We're trusting in the goaltending right now. Yeah, Kevin Lankinen's not the guy for us, but Ivan Kovic, I believe in you. You're going to step up next season. We don't want to rush anything here. So after rebuilding the defense, the Everett Elks did something I didn't think would be possible for this team. 11th in the entire league, a 44-38 record. The boys are in the postseason. Making those trades to help our defense definitely worked out for us. We got some postseason action. He's going to lead the way, 74 points. Holgunder's got 62. JJ Peterka's picking up 61. What did he do since joining the team, though? That's the real question. 19 points in 20 games, -1. You know what? I'll take that. I don't like the -1, but the fact that you're basically a point a game is a great sign. Sam Steele, I think I should trade you away because you had a really good season here. But you know what? We had to keep you on the team for the postseason push. And then when it comes to goaltending, Kevin Lankinen, 41 wins, 4 shots, a 907 and a 292. You were really good. Ivan Kovic, we're going to pretend this didn't happen. We are just going to ignore that. But we finally made the postseason. We got the Vancouver Canucks in the first round. Don't be surprised if we lose here. I feel like whenever I do videos like this, it's almost guaranteed that we lose in the first round. This team just doesn't know how to perform in the postseason quite yet, so we'll see what happens. No, but real talk, I have incredibly low expectations. Like, I do not expect the Everett Elks to win. We're allowing 7 goals in game number 1. If that doesn't set the standard, I don't know what does. But we did score 6 in game 2. We scored 3 in game 3, and we scored 1 in game number 4 here. We've won 3 straight games. Is this team actually performing? Are they not going to upset me here? Okay, back-to-back shots from Kevin Lankinen. Bro's locked in. So maybe I shouldn't doubt the Everett Elks here. Like, they just took down the Vancouver Canucks, and besides game number 1, this team was dominating. But now we have the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. So yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Although this team looked amazing in their first series, it doesn't mean that's going to continue. It's continuing. Don't lose back-to-back games. Okay. I thought we were going to sweep the Edmonton Oilers or at least take a 3-1 series lead. We're dropping back-to-back games, make it 3 straight games. We got game 6 elimination. The second, I had really high hopes for the Everett Elks. We lost 3 in a row, and it might be 4 in a row here unless we smartened up here. Can we get the offense going? Goaltending's been amazing. We're taking a lot of shots here. Someone's got to find the back of the net, and what's going to happen? We're finding the back of the net, but it's coming from 2 of our defensemen who shouldn't be the guys leading the way here. One of our forwards has to step up in overtime. Nobody on this team is stepping up. Somebody score a goal for me right here. Niels Holgunder, this is why I brought you to the team. A massive power play goal. Edmonton should have taken us out there. Edmonton had the chance to eliminate us, and they messed up. They're allowing Everett to stay in this series, and because of that, we're going to win this series. Game number 7, Everett versus Edmonton. This shouldn't be happening. This series shouldn't have been a possibility. But you know what? Everett continues to upset teams. Each team's picking up 2 goals in the first period. In the second period, Edmonton's taking the lead, but Protas is going to be picking up a massive goal. I don't even think his name is pronounced Protas. That's just what I'm calling him. I should probably look it up. I should really learn how to pronounce that man's name. We're dropping this game 6-4, but yeah, I am like 99% sure it's actually not pronounced Protas. So yeah, probably wouldn't hurt if I learned that. But anyways, we're going to be dropping this one 6-4. We're falling in game 7. But you know what? At the end of the day, this was considered a successful year for the Everett Elks. We're making strides in the right direction here. Oh man, this makes this season even worse. The Boston Bruins really beat the St. Louis Blues in the Stanley Cup final. My heart is broken. Not only was my heart broken because the Everett Elks lost, but my heart is broken because my Blues are falling. Matt Savoy's leading the way, 10 points here. He's still only an 85 overall. Bro's really got to improve that potential. JJ Peterka, Brazo, Lecker-Mackey, they weren't bad. Protas, he's leading the way, 7 points, 2 goals, 5 assists. And that's what his name is. It's Protas, not Protas. But that's neither here nor there. Protas, 7 points. You weren't terrible. Goaltending wise, Kevin Lankinen, you were a superstar for us. We just couldn't find the back of the net in that final game. You also allowed 6 goals, but you know what? I'm not going to blame it on you. We just didn't step up. Actually, we did score goals. We picked up 4 goals, didn't we? Yeah, Kevin Lankinen just couldn't keep the puck out of the back of the net in that final game. Then again, it might not really have been his fault. Who knows what the defense was looking like. So what a surprise. A great goaltender in the draft. Medium league potential. If only we could get a medium league potential player who wasn't a goaltender. Because at this point, that's all we get when it comes to mediumly potential players. I'm not complaining, but I would like something other than a mediumly potential goaltender. We already have enough here. We're also going to secure a lowly potential player here, 51 overall. I don't think we have any more picks in the draft after this one. So yeah, I selected this guy 30 picks early, but the only reason I did that is because we didn't have any more picks in the draft. So yeah, 2 elite potential players, not the end of the world. All right, so there's a couple guys that need extensions. Sam Steele, you're an 86 overall. You are now higher than Matt Savoy when it comes to an overall. I should trade you away. We could have got some good assets. Then again, we wouldn't have made the postseason. Matt Savoy, we're going to lock you down to a 3-year deal. We're probably going to look at 4.7 million. We can do less than that. Can we do 4.5? I doubt we can do 4.5. Never mind. Yes, we can. So 4.5 for Matt Savoy. That's not bad in the slightest. I also do want to point something out. We made the postseason and we were only paying our team like $60 million. We have $50 million in cap space right now. We could be a very good team in the future. We're managing the cap really well right now. Holtz is coming back 2.7 for the next 3 years. This team is in a great spot. All right, so it's actually a good thing that we have all this cap space because we have to re-sign some big time players here. Protus is going to be coming back, but it's actually going to be on a better deal than I was expecting. 7.3 for the next 6. I was thinking he was going to be looking for $9 million. Hoglander, I think I'm going to trade you away here. I don't really think you fit the timeline. I mean, you do, but you don't. You'll understand in a couple minutes once we make a couple more deals. Zane Perek, obviously you have to come back to the team. This is what I was thinking Protus was going to be asking for, but 8.9 million for 3 years. Not the end of the world considering you're our top defenseman here. Lecker-Mackey's going to need a deal as well. You know what? He's been a stud for us and we'll keep him around. And this is going to be another reasonable deal. We'll do $7 million for the next 3. So Lecker-Mackey's going to be sticking around. And then to finish it all off, JJ Peterka, I brought you onto this team to play some second line minutes and you were pretty good, but not at $7 million or 6.875 to be exact. I'm not doing that. Kevin Lankinen, I'm also not going to re-sign you. If anything, we might be trading you away. I haven't really decided yet. All right, so this is what we're looking at. JJ Peterka, after seeing how much you were asking for, I'm going to trade you away. You and a 3rd round pick are sent over to the LA Kings, and instead of Mikey Anderson, we're actually going to try to get Brandt Clark. Now, Brandt Clark's not going to be sticking around with us because we're going to do a 3-team trade here. Let's just see if we can get Brandt Clark. We might not be able to. They're saying no. Give me Mikey Anderson then. Like Mikey Anderson, Brandt Clark, they're pretty close in trade value. Mikey Anderson's is slightly lower, so maybe LA's willing to accept this deal. Yes, they are. Now we're going to head over to the Columbus Blue Jackets and we're going to get the real player we want. Because the real guy I'm looking at the team here, Marchenko. I think he could be a great sniper, especially on that second line. Marchenko, Protus, Gavin McKenna. If that's not going to be a superstar second line, I don't know what will. I also wouldn't mind picking something else up in this deal. Maybe a guy like Adam Fantilli. I don't think we could pull that off. There is this young player. 74 overall, medium top 6 potential. Don't mind if I do. I'm going to send this over. They're saying no. I really want to get that prospect now. Like, I think he's got a lot of potential. A 74 overall to begin his career. That's an absolute steal. They're saying no to that. I'll give you a 2nd rounder as well. I'll do a 2nd rounder for 2029. That's going to be enough to get this deal done. I guess not. They want a 7th rounder. Of course, they want the lucrative 7th round pick. Why would you not want the lucrative 7th round pick? And just like that, Columbus is saying yes. Well, this is just an absolute steal. Can we do multiple years? I'll do 2 years at 1.1 million. Yep. Pokolzin, welcome to the team. Why would I not do that deal? Also, what am I looking at? Low elite potential, 21 years old, he's an 83 overall. Yeah, you're coming to the team as well. We're doing your entry-level contract. Did anyone draft you? Were you an undrafted player? No, we're getting steals out here. Bro's gonna turn into a superstar. No, like we really found Bro in free agency and we just signed him to his entry-level contract. We got lucky there. Also, we'll finish it off with Alex Newhook. We'll bring him in on a 1-year deal, 1.8 million. I think the team might be ready to win now. I mean, that's a lie. Is there any goaltender we can sign to a 1-year deal that's like an 85 overall? We need a really good goaltender for 1 season. Jesper Wallstedt, unfortunately, you're an RFA. We can't get you. Vasilevsky, I don't want to do 4 years with you. We might have to make a trade for a goaltender. That's the thing, though. I don't want to make a trade for a goaltender. Ivan Kovic is definitely going to be our guy in the future, and I don't want to rush things here, but I do want to try to win a Stanley Cup next season. Okay, so that rookie that we found in free agency is now an 85 overall. He is 21 years old. He was drafted in the 5th round by the Winnipeg Jets, and they just let him walk. They didn't re-sign him. They just said, no, we don't want you. Let him walk to free agency, and we have an 85 overall player. Winnipeg is so dumb. Why would they do that? We just got an absolute steal in free agency. We have him locked down for the next 3 years on his entry-level contract. Defense is looking great here. How's goaltending looking? Okay, Ivan Kovic. I was kind of expecting you to be up to like at least an 80 overall or something. You are still 78 overall. Are you better off in the AHL? I'm going to be honest. Do we send you to the AHL and then maybe get a different starting goaltender? I think that's the move. I think you're better off starting games in the AHL than just riding the bench here. So yeah, we're going to trade for a goaltender. Not really what the plan was this season, but you know what? We have to change things on the fly. All right, so I think this is what we're going to do. Hurd, the medium potential goaltender that we just drafted, who's a 55 overall. I'm going to trade him away. We also have to trade Daly just so the Devils have enough goaltenders. And we're also going to give up a 3rd round pick. We're getting Gustafsson for the next couple of years. I don't know how many years he's going to be our goaltender. Ideally, Ideally, not that many. I'll give you a 4th round pick as well. Hopefully that's going to be enough here. Yes, it is. So Gustafsson's the new starting goaltender. Ivan Kovic is going to be sent down to the AHL. He's going to get some more reps there, and that's going to help his progression. Now, Filip Gustafsson, he's certainly going to be helping the team a lot here. We're currently sitting in a postseason spot. We're actually second in our division, even though we're 12th in the entire league. A 35-23-6 record. Offensively, we're looking okay this season, but defensively is the big difference. 2.67. We're one of the best defensive teams in the entire league. If only we could consistently score goals here, because for some reason that's the one thing we're struggling with, and I don't really get it. The first line, Lekkerimäki, 52 points, not that great. Matt Savoy, 40 points. Roger McQueen, 40 points. Maybe we have to trade Savoy here. I don't want to trade Savoy. I think he's got a lot of potential. Yeah, we have one of our centermen playing left wing and Roger McQueen, but you know what? I believe this is a good first line. Roger McQueen, Savoy, Lekkerimäki, I believe in it. It's just not working out for us, but you know what? We can't give up on it just yet. Gustafsson, you know what? He's been great this season. 29 wins, 5 shots, a 913 to 266, and then Kevin Lankinen's been amazing as the backup, but for some reason, he doesn't have a winning record. With a 929 and a 212, he doesn't have a winning record. Yeah, this team's got to find some goal scoring. So we should probably make a trade here, but I really don't know what that trade is. I don't want to trade Savoy away. I don't want to trade Roger McQueen away, and I don't want to trade Lekkerimäki away. So I don't really want to mess up that first line. The problem is, every line outside of our first line really isn't the problem here. The guys on the top line just aren't stepping up right now. I don't want to make a trade here, but it also wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Like, Lekkerimäki's only an 86 overall, Savoy's only an 85, but I don't want to give up on them quite yet. We're going to run it back one more season with these guys. We're going to give them another year to develop. One of these days, Savoy's going to take the next step. Lekkerimäki will take the next step. Roger McQueen will take the next step. I don't want to give up on the team quite yet. We're also second in our division, so it's not like we're a bad team by any means. We're definitely going to make the playoffs. So to finish off the season, the Everett Elks were an okay team. We're 9th in the entire league, 45-29-8. Next season's when we're truly going to be taking over. Matt Savoy, Roger McQueen, Lekkerimäki, they're either going to make the decision that they're going to develop or they're not going to develop. No in between. They got to figure it out here. Although these guys have a lot of potential, they're just not living up to that potential right now. But you know what? I trust in the process here. I trust in what we're building, and I don't want to give up on these guys too early. Gustafsson, 37 wins, 6 shots, and 914 to 264. He's been great this season. We just can't score goals. I don't know why we can't score goals, considering we have a lot of goal scorers here. We just can't do it. Once again, we're going to be taking on the Vancouver Canucks in the first round. Let's just do what we did last season. All right, there we go. Beat Vancouver. Ignore the fact that you didn't see the entire series. So we beat the Vancouver Canucks. We're moving on to the Edmonton Oilers next. It was a hard-fought series last time we took them on, but now we're better defensively. We've got better goaltending. The only question mark is goal scoring. Can we do that? Like, when it comes to goal scoring, this team is incredibly hit or miss. We're either going to score 8 goals in the game or we're going to score 0. We're scoring 4 in game number 1, but in back-to-back games now we've been dominated. Make that 3 straight games. Now it's the defense letting us down. We also haven't been great offensively in these past 3 games. Make that 4 games. Yeah, we were just dominated by Edmonton. They were outscoring us like crazy. We couldn't pick up any goals here. That's a tough way to go out. Back-to-back second round exits to the Edmonton Oilers. But you know what? We have one more year with this team before we make some big changes. So after losing to the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to go on to win the Stanley Cup here. But are we going to see any great progression over the offseason? We have to. If we don't see progression here, we're going to be in trouble. Matt Savoy, he's an 85 overall. Protas is actually not that bad. He's an 88 overall. We can rely on him. We can rely on Marchenko. We can rely on Gavin McKenna here. But it's guys like Lekkerimäki. Can they step up in these big time moments? Can they be those big time performers for us? I'm not too sure. Gustafsson also sucked in the postseason. I don't know what to say about that one. Ivan Kovic, you got to step up for us. You got to be great next season. I gave you a season to develop in the AHL. You better be ready to take over. Wow, I've never seen this before. A mediumly potential goaltender. Yeah, we never draft those. Surprised to see this guy join the team. Alright, so thankfully in the re-sign phase, we don't really have to do too much. Lucic is going to join the team, though. He's an 81 overall. That trade we made in order to acquire him is definitely going to be working out here. He's going to be a great piece for us. New Hook's going to be walking. We'll let these 2 medium top 6 potential players walk. Kevin Lankinen's also going to be walking here, but you know what? We're just preying on the progression of these players. If the players progress, we'll be good. I don't know if they will, though. Okay, so we have some extensions to give out. Of course, Gavin McKenna's going to look for an absolute bag here, but he's deserving of it. We'll do 9.1 for the next 6 years with Gavin McKenna. Roger McQueen's up to an 86 overall. That is a very good sign. If Roger McQueen continues to progress like this, we might be in a good spot, but he has to continue to progress. We're going to do a 5x5 with Roger McQueen. He's sticking around here. Kovacevic, we're probably not going to re-sign you. We're just going to let you walk. We have this medium potential player we traded for a couple seasons ago. We'll do 4.5 for the next 3 with him. Eventually, he's got to jump into a top 6 role, though. Soulsville, I'm assuming that he's looking for an absolute bag here. What's he looking for? Actually, this isn't too bad. We can do 3.2 million for 2 years. We have a lot of cap space, so a deal like that doesn't hurt us. And then we have this other defenseman right here, low elite potential. He hasn't really progressed that well, but you know what? We're going to continue to trust in the process here. 4.5 for the next handful of years. Bro's eventually going to develop. And then when it comes to Pekolzin, 1.5 for 2 years. That's a good deal. Boaki, we're going to sign you to a cheap deal as well. 800K for the next 2 years. That's an absolute no-brainer. And then Eklund will keep you around as well. So we'll do 950K for the next 2 years. You're a 79 overall. I'll give you one more year to develop, and then you can probably jump onto the team. This is the real big deal, though. Jack Ivankovic. Are you going to progress into that big player for us? Here's 800K for the next 2 years. You're still 78 overall. I'm not sure how much faith I should have in you anymore. You know what? If we're going to win a Stanley Cup, we need him on the team. We have the cap space for him. Nikita Kucherov, $15 million for 1 season. We're doing it. Nikita Kucherov's joined the team. That gives us $11 million left to work with here. We could bring Zach Hyman in. We could even bring Morgan Geekie back. I wouldn't be against Morgan Geekie, and I think we'll do that. So Morgan Geekie, I'll give you a 1-year deal. We'll do 7.5 million. Geekie's returning to the team. We're making an all-out push for a Stanley Cup. Okay, at this point, I don't really think it matters if the top line doesn't perform. We have amazing offensive depth here. We have a bunch of guys that can play for us. When it comes to the defense, that's looking amazing as well. There is 0 weaknesses on this team whatsoever. There is no reason we shouldn't see a lot of success here. Jake Wallman, you've dropped to an 85 overall, but you know what? You got one more good year left in you. When it comes to goaltending, Gustafsson, you're an 88 overall. Ivankovic, I'm fully convinced at this point you're just done progressing. I don't know what it is. You've been stuck at a 78 overall for multiple years now. I've given up with bro. When it comes to our other goaltender, he continues to progress, but Ivankovic, you've just never turned to that star player I thought you would. Granted, you're still only 22 years old. You have a bit more time to develop, but you got to start developing here. Like, I don't know what it is. That's 3 straight seasons now where you've been a 78 overall. You got to take the next step. Now, with all the money we've spent, we really don't have that much cap space, so we're not going to make any moves at the trade deadline. We're going to trust in the team we have here. We're going to make a Stanley Cup push, and we're just going to head right to the end of the season. There's no point stopping. We're not making any moves here. We're going to believe in the team we have. So the Everett Elks have finally done it. We're a top 3 team in the entire league. The offense was way better this season. A 51-24-7 record, 3.54 goals per game. That's massive for us. Nikita Kucherov, of course, is leading the way with 102 points. But Matt Savoy, you better have picked up points this season. That's exactly what he did. 78 points. That's going to be great for his progression. If he's not up to an 87 overall by the beginning of next season, then I don't know what's going on here. Roger McQueen, 67 points. He's an 86 overall. The young guys are developing here. We're in a great spot. Lecker Mackey, I know you weren't that great this season. You don't have an X factor. Don't be surprised if you're traded. I'm going to be completely honest. I think we're going to bring in a superstar sniper for next season. I think we got to do that. When it comes to goaltending, Gustafsson, 43 wins, 3 shots, and 910 and 271. It all comes down to this. Ivankovic, have you developed? No, you haven't. That's great. Bro is just continuing to let me down here. But you know what? That's fine. Because Ivankovic isn't the guy we're relying on. We're relying on Philip Gustafsson. We don't have to take on the Edmonton Oilers. That is massive for this team. We don't have Edmonton to stop us. We're Stanley Cup champs. Up until this point, there has only been one team that's been able to stop us, and that's the Edmonton Oilers. And you know what? Now we don't have to worry about Edmonton. 5-0 in game number 1, but we're going to drop game 2 after that. But that's perfectly fine because this team's going to respond. At least that's what I was hoping for. We are down 3-1. Ain't no way. This is the best team we've ever had, and we're about to lose in the first round. We have never lost in the first round up until this point, and you're telling me when we have our best team, we're going to lose in the first round. Never mind. Maybe we won't. We're making a big comeback in the second period. It's still a 2-goal game. We have to hold it down here in the third. That was lucky. That was very, very lucky. But that doesn't mean we're going to continue to stay lucky because we have to win 2 more games after that. Like, we have to make a 3-1 series comeback. Now it's a 3-2 series comeback, but that's neither here nor there. We have to win back-to-back games still. Can the Everett Elks do that? Can this team win 2 more games from me? The defense has been atrocious, but is it going to finally step up? We're picking up 2 goals in the first period. We're allowing 2 goals in the second. Not what we're looking for here. In the third period, we're exchanging goals. Overtime's going to sell this game. Gustafsson, I need you to be perfect in overtime here, and that's exactly what you were. Zane Parek's picking up the OT winner. 1 more game to win. And that's just to get out of the first round. We got to win 1 more game here. 1 more game against the Utah Hockey Club. We win this game, it's going to be huge for us. The first period is going to be massive in this game. We got to take the lead early on. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to double down the second period. All the offense is coming from the defense right now. And is that going to continue here? It doesn't look like it, but it doesn't matter. We're making a 3-1 series comeback against the Utah Hockey Club, and we're off to the second round. No, but in reality, that was way too close here. You know what? We've won 3 straight games. I don't want to stop. This team's finally got some momentum. Very rarely do we ever have momentum. And now we have the Anaheim Ducks up next. Is Anaheim going to be able to compete with us? It doesn't look like it. We're stealing game 1. We're stealing game number 2. Is it going to be a sweep over the Ducks? Have we won 7 straight games? It looks like our winning streak's going to end at 6 games. We're going to start a new winning streak, though. We're going to win game number 5 here. Don't blow a 3-0 series lead. Whatever you do, do not blow a 3-0 series lead. A massive show from Gustafsson in game number 6 when it mattered most. We're moving on to the conference finals, a place we have never been before, but now we have an even tougher task up next. We have the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg's not messing around. If they've made it to this point, they're a competitive team. 5 goals in game 1, 5 goals in game 2. Okay, we're back to making comebacks. But this time it's not a 3-1 series comeback. It's a 3-0 series comeback. Luckily, we're winning game number 4, but we got to win game number 5 here. And is this team going to be able to do that? Do we just make all the comebacks? We just make all the comebacks. It doesn't matter if this team's down 3-1 or 3-0. They're going to find a way to make the comebacks. So we're making comeback after comeback here. And you know what? We're going to keep on doing that. It's tied entering the 3rd period. Are we going to be able to step up once again when it matters most? Of course we are. Never mind. Lucius is potting the winner. That is tough. That is incredibly tough. With the best team we've ever had, we finally make it to the conference finals. We faced a lot of trials and tribulations here. We should have won the Stanley Cup, but in the final games, we just couldn't step up when it mattered. And also falling to a 3-0 deficit is not really ideal. I mean, that didn't help us in the slightest. Like, if we don't fall to that 3-0 series deficit, we probably win this series right here. We wouldn't have lost. The Red Wings are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup. They're taking down the Winnipeg Jets, but we just can't fall to that 3-0 deficit. We don't fall to that 3-0 deficit, we win this series. It's as simple as that. Matt Savoy, 11 points. You just weren't good enough in that big time game. You're up to an 87 overall, though. That's a great sign. Roger McQueen's up to an 87 overall. We might have something here. The young guys are developing. We're trusting in the team. Gustafsson, you were good once again here. You're still an 87 overall. Ivan Kovic, develop. That's all I'm asking. All right, so we have to make a deal with the Dallas Stars. We're dropping a bit back in the draft here to the 97th overall, but it's going to be worth it. We get a future 3rd round pick if they give it to us. I'll give up a 6th round pick, though. I just really want to get the 97th overall because we're going to be cooking here. Because finally, after years and years of drafting medium elite potential goaltenders, we're finally going to get somebody who isn't a medium elite potential goaltender. We're getting a medium elite potential defenseman here, starting as a 48 overall. That is the last thing I want to see. A 48 overall probably won't help us a ton. But you know what? If he has some crazy development, he'll be great. But I highly doubt it. Also, we're going to go really off the board here and get this medium elite potential goaltender, because why would we not draft a medium elite potential goaltender? We always need those. So we have $10 million in cap space here, so more than likely that means Nikita Kucherov's leaving the team here. Yes, he will be. Morgan Geeky's going to leave the team. Kovacevic's going to leave the team here. We're going to lose a handful of good pieces here, but you know what? That's just what happens when you have to start paying the big guys big money. All right, so we got some extensions to give out. Marchenko's going to be one of them, and he wants $10 million alone. Okay, that's going to be very expensive. But you know what? We're going to make it work here. Marchenko, I'm not going to lie, you actually might become a top line player for us. So here's 9.5 for the next 6 seasons. That's going to be a good deal for him. Bo Byram, we got to keep him around. It's got to be a reasonable price, and that's exactly what it is. So Bo Byram's going to be sticking around. We're going to do $6 million for the next 4 years. That's going to keep him until he's 33 years old. That's actually pretty solid. Actually 34 years old, because it's this season plus 4 more. I'm yapping. Matt Savoy, you're up to an 87 overall. You have only top 6 potential now, but you know what? You're still going to be a star player for us. I see the potential with a guy like Matt Savoy. I believe in him now. We're doing 8.1 for the next 5 years. When it comes to this guy, the Winnipeg Jets drafted and then didn't sign for some reason, 2.4 for 1 year. Why not? And then Holtz, Brezzo, both of you guys are going to walk. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. Lecker-Mackey, I don't think you're going to be a star player for us. You just haven't really developed. I know for a fact now that I'm sending you over to San Jose, you're going to turn to a star player, but that's just the way it goes. I'm giving up our 1st round pick as well. We're bringing in Joe Aginla. We're going to re-sign him long term. He's going to have a top 6 role in this team. This trade's going to work out great for both sides. Lecker-Mackey's going to turn to a star now that he's not on our team. And then Joe Aginla, you're going to join the team. You're going to sign a cheap contract with us. This is working out for both sides. So this is the deal we're doing with Joe Aginla. I want to lock him down for 8 years. We're doing 4.5 for the next 8. That contract's going to age very well for us. That deal's an absolute no-brainer. All right, so Jake Wallman, I think your career is coming to an end with the Everett Elks here. You're 34 years old. You're not getting any younger. Matt Schaefer, you're going to be a star defenseman for us. That's a no-brainer. So Wallman, Pavelski, and a 2nd round pick is going to be sent over to the Devils, and we're going to be bringing Matt Schaefer to the team. He's going to be a great player for us. I'll give up multiple 2nd round picks in this deal. Honestly, I don't really care what we have to give up. We might have to do a 3-team trade, though. All right, so this is the deal we're going to do. Wallman in a 6th and 7th over to the Nashville Predators. We get a 2nd and 3rd rounder, and then we'll flip those assets over to New Jersey. So I just want to point this out before we trade to Matt Schaefer. I understand why the New Jersey Devils are interested in basically any goaltender, because they have no goaltenders. They don't have a single goaltender on this team. I don't even know how that works. How do you not have a single goaltender? You have no goaltenders under contract. You have no goaltenders in the system. You have nothing. But yeah, Matt Schaefer, welcome to the team, because this package is definitely fair. Okay, they want a 7th round pick. I will give you a 7th round pick. Like, at the end of the day, we're getting everything we want in this deal. It's not a 7th rounder. It's actually a 6th rounder. We're still getting Matt Schaefer, though. All right, so we're making some changes here, but I think the changes are for the best. Gavin McKenna, you're now going to play on the top line. Savoy, you're moving down to the 2nd line. Roger McQueen, you're going to play center on the 1st line. Protas, you're going to play left wing on the 2nd line. We have to make some risky changes here, but I think it's for the betterment of the team. The defense is looking great here. Goaltending's looking spectacular. Ivan Kovic, you have not developed anymore. You're washed. Ivan Kovic is just terrible, I guess. Bro has not developed for the last 3 years. At least one of the goaltenders we drafted has developed. He's up to an 82 overall. But yeah, Ivan Kovic, you're supposed to be the star player on this team. You're supposed to lead us to greatness. And you have folded in every aspect of your development. How did that happen? Okay, I'm going to be honest. I have no clue what to say. Everett, y'all just didn't do anything this season. 46, 30, and 6. Yeah, I don't know what to say. You weren't necessarily good at offense. You weren't good at defense. You weren't good at anything. Nikita Kucherov was really the only thing holding this team together. Gavin McKenna, 59 points. Makes no sense considering you're a 90 overall. Marchenko, you were actually good. I'm not even mad at you. But yeah, this team, it's just not looking good. Savoy, you're an 87 overall. You were pretty solid. Protas, you're literally doing everything in your power to keep this team competitive, and it still just doesn't work. Once again, when it comes to goaltending, it's all Philip Gustafsson, our backup, who is an 82 overall, was just atrocious. Yeah, we need a 90 overall goaltender for this team to be somewhat competitive. And if things weren't good enough, we get to take on Edmonton in the 1st round. That's great. Wow, we get to take on the Edmonton Oilers. This definitely isn't going to backfire. We're definitely not going to lose to the Edmonton Oilers. Hold on, I might be cooking here. We won 3 straight games. Can we make it 4 straight games? No, we can't. But you know what? We're not going to blow a 3-0 series lead. We're going to close out in game number 5, and we're going to move on here. And we've been really good defensively in every game. So maybe this team's actually better than what our record shows. So we took down the Edmonton Oilers. Never thought I would say those words. We're moved on to the Anaheim Ducks. We've been able to beat them once, but can we beat them again? So beating the Edmonton Oilers is one thing, but taking down the Anaheim Ducks in round number 2, that's something else. We're dropping game number 1. We're going to respond in game 2, though. We got to win game 3, and that's what we're going to do. But we've split the series with the Anaheim Ducks. Game number 5 is going to be massive. Who's going to be taking the lead in the series? Of course, it's going to be the Everett Elks, because we show up in these big-time games. We're going to close out in game number 7, because we're going to fold in game 6. As long as we don't drop this game right here, I really don't care what happens, but we can't lose in game number 7. I just said we can't lose in game number 7, and you guys proceed to absolutely fold. We took 44 shots and scored 1 goal. Nah, Sogard really held it down for the Anaheim Ducks in that game. Bro was absolutely elite, but in back-to-back games, we scored 1 goal in each game, so 2 goals in the last 2 games. We just weren't good enough offensively. The defense wasn't terrible. We just weren't good enough offensively. I don't know what it is, though. Like, I feel like our Everett Elks team on paper is really good, but something's just not right here. Like, we should be better than 46 games in the regular season, and we should dominate the postseason. Well, maybe not dominate the postseason, but I just feel like we should consistently be better than this. For some reason, this team's just not running on all cylinders. There is something holding this team back. I don't know if it's the head coach. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like we should be better. We have all the right pieces here, but something's just not clicking. At this point, we just have to try anything when it comes to developing a goaltender. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why we can't develop goaltenders, but we can't. All right, I'm a little bit concerned on how much this is going to cost us. Zane Parekh, what are you looking for here? Yikes. $14.1 million on a 2-year deal. What's your trade value? I wouldn't be against trading you as long as we can get some good assets. Lucic will bring you back. It's going to be a 2x2 with you. That's actually a really good deal for an A4 overall. Soulsville, more than likely we're riding out your contract because you're looking for $6 million. That's not happening. Pukolzin, could we do 1.5 again here? We can do $1 million for 1 season. I will certainly do that. Boak here, a good third-pairing defenseman for $2 million. Why not? Actually, I'll do $2.1 million. I'm feeling generous. Eklund will do $850K for 2 years. I'll re-sign both of these guys. Bartek, where you're looking for $850K as well. Clark, you're going to get the exact same thing. Then we'll sign these rookies next season. Yeah, Jack, you're lucky you're getting $850K from me, because you certainly don't deserve it. Okay, Zane Parekh, I don't hate your trade value. We could probably get something done. So we're going to do Parekh over to the Chicago Blackhawks. We're bringing in Lev Shinoff. It's a 1 overall difference, but Lev Shinoff's literally half the price right now. We're also bringing in Nichushkin. He's a good young prospect. He's like a 78 overall. They're saying no to that. How many draft picks do you actually want? Like, we're close to getting this done. Here's a 3rd round pick. Please tell me that's going to be enough to get this one done. Perfect. All right, hear me out. We have $16 million in cap space. Rupe hints, here is $8.8 million for one season. Welcome to the Everett Elks. And that's going to leave us with $9 million to work with. Who else is willing to sign a one-year deal? Siegenthaler, we actually don't need a defenseman here, so I'm going to pass up on you. Who else is willing to sign a one-year deal? Here we go. Travis Sanheim, as I just mentioned, don't need a defenseman. Eric Chernak, do not need a defenseman here. Is this a defenseman? That's Kuzmenko, but I don't think Kuzmenko makes sense for the bottom six. I'm just going to be completely honest. Mikheyev, you also don't make sense for the bottom six. Who actually makes sense on this team? Connor Garland, not really a fan of that. Do we actually need to sign anyone else? Hellenist, I'll actually do this. 2.7 for 1 year, why not? Now the team might be looking a bit different here, but you know what? We still have a great team for the Everett Elks. Is this team going to completely disappoint us? Absolutely. Why would they not disappoint? It doesn't matter how good we look, they're going to find a way to disappoint. I just want to point out this medium league potential goaltender, an 85 overall. Ivan Kovic, what are you? A 78 overall. Yeah, I should have traded you away a long time ago. Now the Everett Elks were better this season, but for some reason I just always doubt this team. Like, we're just missing that it factor. I don't know what it is, but we just don't seem to have it. Matt Savoy is leading the team with 73 points, so we know what the it factor is. Somebody that could actually score on this team. Why is 73 points leading the way? Yeah, we have great scoring depth, but we need one guy to just lead the way. We need one star player to carry the way for us. Gustafson, 43 wins, 7 shots, a 908 and a 267. Maybe you're that star player, I'm not too sure. But somebody has to consistently find the back of the net here, and we're not really getting that. Like, we don't have a single point a game score, so who can I rely on night in and night out? Nobody. With that being said, we got Edmonton the first round, so that's great. So the Everett Elks taking on the Edmonton Oilers. What could possibly go wrong here? The Everett Elks definitely aren't going to lose to the Edmonton Oilers. Nope, they wouldn't do that. We won game 1, we won game 2. Okay, maybe we're not losing to the Oilers anymore. Maybe we finally figured out against this team. Granted, how many times did we actually lose to the Oilers? Twice in the postseason. We figured it out since then. So we're moving on to our next matchup. Is Anaheim versus Everett. We have seen these two teams match up a ton. We've come out on top in some matchups. Other matchups we're not going to talk about. But you know what? We can't focus on the past. We can only focus on what's going to happen in the future. And that's going to be the Everett Elks taking down the Anaheim Ducks after dropping game number 1. We're going to win 3 straight games after that. We have a commanding 3-1 series lead. We're going to eliminate the Anaheim Ducks and we're moving on to the conference finals. Everett's got a bit of momentum right now, and when we have momentum, of course, we can't stop. We're simulating these next couple days to find out we're taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Now, Colorado, of course, they're going to be a tough matchup. They have Cale Makar, they have Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen might still be on the team. Can't guarantee that one. But you already know for a fact Colorado's going to be a great team. Maybe they're not good enough here. Everett's finally figured it out. This team's winning games, and we've made it to the Stanley Cup final. It might have almost taken us 10 years, because we're in year 8 to be exact, but Everett's finally done it. They've made it to the Stanley Cup final. We get to take on the New York Rangers of all teams, a team that looks absolutely terrible so far in 2024, 2025. Maybe they'll figure it out, maybe they won't. I don't know. Now that Shesterkin's on the IR, I don't think you can rely on 40-year-old Jonathan Quick to be your guy, but we can't worry about that now. We have to focus on the Everett Elks, and us coming back from a 3-1 deficit because we're down 3-1. Just when I thought I could start believing in this team, we're down 3-1. Why are we doing this? We're picking up 3 goals in the first period, though, but we're going to be allowing a goal in the second. I thought we had a commanding lead. Maybe not. You better not choke here. Y'all better not choke in overtime. We really choked. 3 unanswered. 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in overtime. We went scoreless outside the first period. That didn't happen. That really didn't just happen. We went scoreless in the second, scoreless in the third, scoreless in overtime. Where was the offense? Where were all y'all? Gavin McKenna, 24 points. Roger McQueen, 16. Savoy, 16. Rupe Hens, 15. Where was this team? Where was this team when we needed the most? Gustafson, 13 wins, 1 shot, a 924 and a 244. But in those final 4 games, where were you? I guess technically it was the final 5 games because of a 5-game series. But yeah, where were you? 4 goals here, 4 goals here, 2 goals here, 2 goals here, 5 goals here. In the big time games, nobody stepped up. I can't even put it on one player. It was absolutely everyone. So another season's going to pass here. The Everett Elks are yet to win that elusive Stanley Cup, but once we start winning, we're not going to stop winning. What did we just secure in the 3rd round? Medium elite potential, 73 overall. What an absolute steal that was. He had inaccurate scouting, but you know what? We threw a Hail Mary there, and it worked out for us. Medium elite potential, 73 overall. Let's throw some more Hail Marys. Who has inaccurate scouting that we could draft? Okay, nobody. Yeah, I guess we're going to go with the lowly potential player, and they don't even have lowly potential. That's enough Hail Marys. We got lucky once. Now, Oleg, you're looking for 6.8 million, but you're a bottom 6 piece from me. However, considering we don't really have to spend money on anyone else, you're 6.5 for 4 years. I can trade you away in the future if I want. You're going to have some decent trade value. Hintz, you're going to be leaving. Soulsville, you're going to leave. Helenas, I wouldn't mind keeping you around. 1.5 for 2 years. That's a decent deal for you. But yeah, Hintz, Soulsville, both of you guys are going to walk here, but we'll make up for it. All right, so we just pray with Levshunov. Pray that he's willing to sign a reasonable deal with the team. Levshunov, you will be traded. I got nothing to say about that. That is tough. This mediumly potential player we can certainly sign, though. He's only looking for $5 million. So yeah, $5 million for 3 years, why not? He's 22 years old. We're going to keep him on this team. Yeah, that works out for me. But Levshunov, you will be traded. Also, there is this mediumly potential goaltender we have, and he's actually been really good. So could we try to lock him down long term? He only wants to do 2 years, but I mean, a 2x2, I'm okay with that considering you're an 85 overall right now. Also, Matthias Martinson, you know what? You play the fourth line on our team, so here's 1.8 for 2 years. Yeah, you're only a 78 overall, but you play your role here, so I'm not mad about it. And you know what? Things have finally worked out for us. Levshunov, we're going to trade you away. We're bringing in Hamilton. He's locked down for the next 5 years at $10 million, 89 overall. He's a good defensive defenseman. And you know what? I think we've been lacking a defensive defenseman on this team. We're also getting 2 good young players. I take that back. We're getting 1 good young player in this deal. The real question is, can we rely on a defensive defenseman to be our number 1 guy here? That's really the only concern I have. And you know what? Speaking of defensive defensemen, Siegenthaler, welcome to the team. We'll do $8.3 million for 1 season. Why not? We'll give you $1 million more than what you're looking for, but I just need 1 good year out of you. Guys, I found Peter Mrazek. He aged really fast. He's 58 years old now. But yeah, Peter Mrazek, you are now our goalie coach. But yeah, crazy. Peter Mrazek just aged 15 years quicker than every other person in history. Wild. My guy, I gave you $1 million more than what you were asking for, and we would have competed for a Stanley Cup. You did not just say no to me. Siegenthaler, you don't get to say no to me. I gave you everything you were looking for, and you said no. Alright, we need another left defenseman, I guess. I don't care who it is, but it's got to be a 1-year deal. Josh Morrissey, why not? Is this going to age horribly for us? Absolutely. You're 6.7 for 1 year. You're a third pairing defenseman. Don't really want an offensive defenseman in that slot, but you know what? We got to do what we got to do. All right, Everett, there's no more excuses. We have all the pieces to win here. Yeah, we might still lack that superstar, but who cares? We have depth throughout the entire lineup. The defense is amazing. Goaltending spectacular. This is what progression's called. This is what we've been looking for. Ivan Kovic, what's your overall? Why am I not surprised? He has a 78 overall. Nah, something must have glitched. There is no way he's been stuck at a 78 overall for the past 5 years now. Something happened. But anyways, Ivan Kovic, you're not the guy anymore. We got you Landorf. He's going to be the guy we rely on. Gustafson, you're going to be traded next season. Until then, though, we're rocking these 2 amazing goalies. So we're in year number 9 for the Everett Elks. They're yet to win a Stanley Cup, but they're at the top of the league. A 50-24-8 record. They're at the top of the league. They're not the top of the league. There's a bit of a difference there. 3rd in the entire league. The team's looking great here. However, we don't have a point a game scorer, and that's what's always held us back here. It's the fact that we don't have a point a game scorer. We have amazing depth. We just don't have that superstar. When it comes to goaltending, Landorf is pretty solid. 39 wins, 4 shots, a 906 and a 277. It's his first time in the postseason. Is he going to be the difference maker for us? We're about to find out. Now, Landorf, I'm going to be honest. It's your first time in the postseason, so I'm not putting a lot of pressure on you. You've never played in these big time games like this. You did pick up a shutout, but now you've lost 2 of the first 4 games. Now, the only concern I have is the fact that you've allowed 4 goals in 3 of the 4 games so far. You've not been that great in between the pipes. Luckily, we've been able to steal 2 of the games. Can we steal another one? Yes, we can. And you only allowed 2 goals in that game. Have you learned your lesson? Do you understand that you have to be elite in order for us to win? It looks like it. We're moving on to the second round. And well, who do we see here? Once again, the Anaheim Ducks, a team we have taken on far too many times. Okay, so far defensively, we have not been good. There's been way too many games where we've allowed 4 goals. Like right now, the goals against for Landorf is definitely above 3. We're going to be stealing that one away. We're only allowing 2 goals. Can we only allow 2 once again? Yes, we can. We're moving on to the conference finals. Landorf, are you about to make the Stanley Cup final in your first season with the team? Well, your first year as the starter because you were here last season. But so far in the postseason, you really haven't been that big of a superstar for us. You allowed 5 goals in back-to-back games, but you're going to respond in game number 4. I need 2 more great performances out of you. That's not a great performance. Bro might finish with the goals against close to 4. Because he has not been good in the postseason. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the defense. But yeah, we have not been good enough here. We're taking on the St. Louis Blues. We're about to lose to them if we don't score right here. And they scored 4 goals. Okay, that man's goals against has to be atrocious. Landorf, those numbers certainly not good enough for this team. Offensively, we were actually pretty solid. I'm not going to complain about the offense. Marchenko, Gavin McKenna, Roger McQueen, all you guys were great. Savoy, I'm expecting a bit more from you, but at this point, I can't really expect much. You have elite potential now, and you're an 88 overall. Bro has finally developed at 29 years old. Protus, you're an 87, you weren't that great. Oleg here, he was alright for us. I mean, he's an 88 overall now, so maybe he's going to be jumping into the top 6, who knows. When it comes to goaltending, though, you land off, these are better than I expected, a 904 and a 307. I was fully expecting you to have a goals against of around 4. There was way too many games where you were just bad. Like in that final series against St. Louis, there was 3 different instances where you allowed 5 goals in a game. In that series alone, and I think it was only 5 games, you allowed 15 goals in 3 games, and then in our elimination game you allowed 4. So that's 19 goals in a 4-game span. That's not good. Now there's only one thing for us to do. Get a medium league potential player in the draft who's a gem. We really didn't get a medium league potential player there. Bro was a gem, and we still couldn't get a medium league potential player. We'll go with Ralph Sanchez. He's a gem as well. He only has low top 4 potential, but at least he's a gem. But no, we really got finesse there. Now, I bet you never expected us to get this, a medium league potential goaltender. How did I finesse that? And then to finish this draft off, we're going to get one more gem, low league potential, 49 overall, offensive right defenseman. But the fact that he's a 49 overall is not giving me a lot of hope here. So we have $7 million in cap space, but Cole's and you're going to walk, and then Nichushkin's going to be jumping into the lineup here. And then we'll sign one defenseman in free agency. And then that's it. We're going to run it back with basically the same team. Alright, so there's a handful of extensions that have to be given out. Samoff, we're going to be starting with you, and hopefully you're going to be reasonable. This is certainly reasonable for me. Considering you're like an 87 overall, I can definitely do a deal like this. 7.5 for the next 4 years. What an absolute steal. $3 million more what you're getting paid right now. I can definitely work with that. Lucic, we're moving on to you next. 3.5 for the next 2 years. Actually, let's do less than that. 3.3 for the next 2. Works for me. Hellenist, where are we looking at with you? 3.6. I don't really want to do that. Eklund, where are you going to be looking for? Hopefully we can get a cheap deal done with you, and that's a cheap deal right there. We'll do $975K for the next 2. And then when it comes to Gustafsson, I think we'll just ride out his contract. I didn't realize it ended this season. So yeah, we'll ride out Gustafsson's contract, and then we'll give this medium league potential goaltender a multi-year deal. We'll do 2 years at $1.5 million. He's an 82 overall. He can be the backup next season. That's a great pickup. Ivan Kovic, you are leaving. You now have medium fringe start potential. What a bust you were. So it's going to be the lone free agent signing. Maxwell Callahan, we're giving you $1.3 million for the next 2 years. You can be an okay third pairing defenseman for us. We don't really need too much there. Okay, so I really don't have much to say. We have an incredible forward core here. Also, the past 2 seasons when Matt Savoy's led the team in scoring, how has that happened considering he's playing second line minutes? Roger McQueen, Marchenko, Gavin McKenna, what are y'all up to? You should be doing better than that. When it comes to the defense, that's in an amazing spot here, except for doing this. Boak here playing on the third pairing. Yeah, you're not playing second pairing minutes. We're not doing that. And then when it comes to goaltending, yeah, we're in a great spot here. You land us up to an 89 overall. I don't know what it is here, but this team chokes. And they choke very often. Like, we're entering year 10. This is year 10 right now, and we're without a Stanley Cup. That shouldn't be possible. So this might be the first time in history where I've done a rebuild for minimum 10 years, and within the first 10 years, we didn't finish first in the entire league. The Everett Elks are 10th. I don't really understand it. I'm fully convinced at this point it's the coach. It has to be the coach, because there's no way this team right here is not first in the entire league. It has to be the coach. I am fully convinced it's the coach. There is nothing that could possibly hold us back. The defense is amazing here. Goaltending spectacular. Nobody knows how to score on this team. We don't have a single player that knows how to competently score in the back of the net, and I don't understand it. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers. This team made all the way to the Stanley Cup final last season, and the season before that. Now we're 10th in the entire league. It's the same team. How does this happen? But you know what? I don't care what our record is, because I know for a fact we're going to be able to compete with the best in the league. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. Edmonton does not scare me whatsoever. We built a good Everett Elks team. I don't care what our record is. We're always going to show up. If we take down the Oilers in a sweep, that's hilarious. We're third in the division. We're third in the division right now, and we just took down the Edmonton Oilers in a sweep. No, this game really confuses me, like it does. Are we going to make it 5 straight wins? Yes, we are. Are we going to sweep the LA Kings? We already swept the Edmonton Oilers, so we might as well sweep the LA Kings here. Unfortunately, we're dropping game 2, and we're dropping game 3, but it's going to be a massive game 4 win, and it's going to be an even bigger game 5 win once we take that one away. Then we're going to close out in a 6-game series. We're going back to the Stanley Cup final, but first, we got to get past the Chicago Blackhawks. I haven't forgot about the Chicago Blackhawks. We're going to sweep this team and move on to the Stanley Cup final. 12-1 heading into the Stanley Cup final, and we're third in our division. Make that 12-2 heading into the Stanley Cup final, but the point still stands. Oh, actually, we're 12-3. Okay, I'm yapping. Did we lose 2 to them? We lost 2 to the LA Kings. I completely neglected the fact that we lost 2 to the LA Kings. So yeah, we're 12-3 entering the Stanley Cup final, 10th in the entire league. But yet we've made to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals and we haven't won one of them yet. So here we go, the Stanley Cup final. The Everett Elks are yet to win, but things are about to change and it's going to be a sweep over the Red Wings. I guess not. We'll take them on a gentleman's sweep though. 5 games. The Everett Elks have finally done it. In year number 10, when I was just saying how this might be the first time in history I've ever done a 10-year rebuild and we've never finished first in the entire league, we just won a Stanley Cup just like that after finishing 10th in the entire league. So yeah, standings mean nothing. Like, we dominated the entire postseason, 12-4. We played 20 games. No team could compete with us. We were absolutely elite. Gavin McKenna, Joe Aginla, Marchenko, Bobara, Matt Savoy, everybody was amazing. And then goaltending, you land off, you were pretty good. 16 wins, 2 shots, a 927 and a 216. Those are all right numbers, I guess. But in year number 10, the Everett Elks finally win. After losing in the Stanley Cup final in back-to-back years, we made it into the Stanley Cup final for the 3rd year in a row, and we finally came out on top. But the job's not done. We're running it back next season. Now, we just did something in the first round that I bet you didn't expect. We drafted a mediumly potential player. Would you be surprised if they were a mediumly potential goaltender? That's all we find here. That's the only player that we draft. Mediumly potential goaltenders. And with the 66th overall pick that we have in the 2nd round here, what could we get? Possibly a mediumly potential center. We all know that's not going to happen. Although this guy has semi-accurate scouting, we all know that since he's not a goaltender, he's not going to have mediumly potential. We've been down this road before. Okay, hold on. We just got ourselves a mediumly potential player. That's not a goalie. All right, we stay winning. All right, so we've made to the re-sign phase. Hellenis, I don't think you're going to be coming back to the team because I think you're going to look for too much money. Then again, 3.2 on a 1-year deal. Why not? Actually, can we just do around $3 million? $3 million for 1 season. Why not? Bo Aki, I'm not against bringing you back now. You know what? This honestly isn't that bad of a deal. 3.1 for the next 2 years. You're only 29 years old. And then on top of that, we have a mediumly potential player ready to jump to the lineup. He's an 80 overall. There we go. This team's looking great. We are going to lose 1 player though. Actually 2. Gustafsson and then this man right here. Yeah, I'm just shaking my head at you, Jack. How could you not develop for me? Like, you really turned into the biggest bust of all time. So heading into this season, a lot of players are looking for extensions. Roger McQueen, Bo Byram, Protas, Matt Schaefer. Of course, we're going to keep the young guys around like Matt Schaefer. He's going to be the first player to get a deal here. I want to do long term. I'm not giving you a 1-year deal. Roger McQueen, what are you going to be looking for? Hopefully it's something pretty reasonable here. And honestly, this isn't too bad. Considering you're a number 1 line guy for us, we can keep you around. So how does $9.7 million for the next 7 years sound? Okay, that's exactly what we're doing. 9.7 for the next 7. That's a steal for Roger McQueen. Bo Byram, Protas, you're probably being traded. All right, we're going to get risky here. Protas and Bo Byram are both going to be sent over to the LA Kings. Briere and then this defenseman are both going to be acquired. Briere's going to need an extension. He's looking for $10 million for the next 3 years, but we can do that. Kindle, we can bring you to the team. You're an 85 overall. You're going to be a great defenseman. Is Protas and Bo Byram going to be enough in a deal like this? They're going to be saying no. I'm not against giving up draft picks. Like, I'll definitely give up some draft picks in this deal if we have to. We'll start with a 2nd rounder. It's probably going to take a 1st, but maybe not. They just want a little bit more. Okay, that works for me. We're giving you 2 33-year-old players for 2 incredibly young players, and you're willing to say yes to this. Nah, LA's GM's about to get fired. I'll give you a 3rd round pick, and just like that, that's going to be enough to get this deal done. Thank you, LA. You helped us a ton. So this is the deal Briere's looking for, but of course, we're going to try to do a bit less than that. How about we do 9.7 for the next 3 years? You're going to be a first-line sniper for us because we have somebody else we have to trade away as well. Now, this is the most important extension we have to give out. You land off, you need to return to this team. I'm going to have to throw you an absolute bag, but you know what? It's going to be worth it. You're 27 years old. If we lock you down for the next 7 years, it's keeping you until you're 34 years old. Actually, technically 35 because you're still under contract for this season. But $10.2 million for the next 7. I don't have to give you a no movement or anything. That works out for me. However, the only problem we're going to have is after the Briere contract kicks in and the Ulandov contract kicks in, we actually don't have enough money for Schaefer. So yeah, we got to make some more moves here. All right, so Marchenko, unfortunately, you have to be traded away here. We got to free up that $9.5 million. You're also 33 years old. You're going to start regressing soon. And you know what? This is just something we have to do here. It's a tough loss. However, we are going to bring in this mediumly potential defenseman. He's only a 66 overall, but we're going to have him develop a couple more years in juniors. And then once he's ready for the NHL, I think he's going to be a stud for us. I'll have to give up our 2nd round pick in this deal, but you know what? I'm not against that. We'll also have to give up a couple other assets. Like, I guess I can give up Smits in this deal. Honestly, that's not the end of the world. He's going to have some decent trade value. So I'll offer this over to Nashville. They're saying we're pretty close in value. A 3rd rounder might make the difference. I take that back. It's not going to be a 3rd rounder. It's going to be a 4th rounder, but at the end of the day, we're still getting the deal done. All right, Hellenis, I know you're not coming back to the team next season, so we're going to trade you away. We're going to pick up this young player from the Colorado Avalanche. Bro's an 82 overall, and he's only 20 years old. So yeah, he can play some 4th line mans for us, and the main reason we're picking this guy up is we do have a mediumly potential player who I don't want jumping into the lineup yet. He he can develop for 2 more seasons. So this is what the team's going to be looking like heading into this season. We're coming off a Stanley Cup here, and don't be surprised if we win another one here. The Everett Elks are looking absolutely incredible. The defense spectacular. Zero weakness on this team whatsoever. You land off, you're an 89 overall. You have a handful of X factors. We have an 88 overall backup. Didn't even know we had an 88 overall backup, but we do. He's locked down for the next 2 years. We're about to do something special this season. So it's the day before the trade deadline here, and Matt Schaefer, I want to keep you on this team. What are we going to be looking at when it comes to a deal? Are we going to be looking at 9.5 for the next 4? I will certainly do 9.5 for the next 4. So Matt Schaefer, welcome back to the Everett Elks. It finally happened. It really happened. I'm not talking first in the entire league. Look at Gavin McKenna, 98 points. We had a point a game score on this team. Roger McQueen, 90 points. The team's finally done it. They figured out how to score goals. Oh, it brings a tear to my eye. This team couldn't score goals for years, and now they can. We have 2 incredible goaltenders. You land off, of course, you're going to be the guy for us. We got the San Jose Sharks taking on the Everett Elks. The Everett Elks know how to score. They know how to keep the puck out of their net. It only makes sense for us to now lose to the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, it doesn't really matter how good this team is. We are going to find a way to lose in spectacular fashion. We're going to win game number 1, moving into game 2, or win that one 5-3 as well. Are we going to score 5 goals once again? Nope, we're allowing 6, and we just drop back-to-back games. We're not going to drop 3 straight games, though. This team's going to show up when it matters most. Okay, maybe I was right all along. We're really about to lose this series to the San Jose Sharks. When I said that, I was kidding. Like, obviously, the Everett Elks aren't going to lose to the San Jose Sharks, but here we are, off to Game 6 elimination. We're really going to lose to the San Jose Sharks. We did. We lost to the San Jose Sharks. We lost 4 in a row. We're not looking at stats. We're not looking at goaltending. Actually, I do want to look at goaltending because it wasn't good. Like, keep in mind, the first 2 games we won, we allowed 3 goals in both of them. He might have a goals against of borderline 4. Remember how this team was laying the lamp during the regular season? That stopped happening real quick. You land off 2 wins, 0 shutouts, an 851, a 384. You really posted a 384 against the San Jose Sharks after we won 63 games. Now, this team really doesn't want me to be happy. Congrats to the Vancouver Canucks on winning the Stanley Cup. It should have been the Everett Elks. But we're not going to talk about what happened. Now, not only did we just lose in the first round, but we're about to go a draft without getting a medium league potential goaltender. We're not going to draft one here. There's no medium league potential goaltenders left in the draft. Now, we really lost here. We're not winning at all. I mean, we are going to get another low league potential player unless we completely miss here. 2 low league potential players, not the greatest draft in the world. It was just bad. Everything about this season was bad. All right, so the re-sign phase, it's going to be very basic here. We're not doing anything other than maybe bringing Fenton to the team. Do I want to give him this much, though? Not really. You're a 77 overall. I'll qualify you as an RFA. You're probably going to accept that. Probably shouldn't have qualified you as an RFA, but you know what? Way she goes. All right, so things are about to get difficult once again. Gavin McKenna needs a deal. Oleg needs a deal here. Savoy needs a deal. A lot of players need deals, and we're not going to be able to keep all of them. Of course, Gavin McKenna, you're the one guy we certainly have to keep on this team. Or do we? $15.3 million is quite a bit of money. Do I want to commit that much money to you? Oleg, you're looking for almost $14 million. I don't know if I want to do that either. Like, if we were just to sign those 2 guys right there, I don't think we would have enough money for anyone else. That would literally use up all of our money. Matt Savoy, $11 million. I guess we could do that. Like, that's not a terrible deal. We would have to do 11.6. We would actually do 10.6 for the next 3. That'll keep you on the team till you're 35. I don't know how much I like that. I feel like we're keeping you on the team too long. We might make some trades here. We might make a lot of them. Okay, after consideration, Gavin McKenna, I will keep you around here. We're going to have to give you a no movement clause and everything, though. It's going to be $14.5 million for the next 6 seasons. That's a bit expensive, but you know what? You're a superstar player for us. We've got to keep you around. Oleg, you're going to be leaving. And Matt Savoy, you're also going to be leaving, because we're going to make a trade here. All right, so we have 2 guys on expiring deals, Vananda and Matt Savoy. I'm going to send both of them over to Buffalo. We're going to get Barkowski, and we're also going to try to get 2 second-rounders in this deal. We've got to free up money. We're not going to be able to afford to keep both those guys on the team. However, Barkowski, just under $11 million for the next 4 years, and you're going to keep on getting better. It's a deal that makes sense for us. And then, of course, we have to keep Kindle around. This is going to be a really good deal with him. It's going to be $5.9 million for the next 4 years. And then, unfortunately, we're going to lose a couple guys. Oleg's leaving. Lucic is going to leave. I mean, Oleg will probably trade away. Lucic will just write out your contract. Also, Furtak will probably trade you away. We could get a lot for you, or at least I kind of hope we can. So Furtak and Lucic are both going to be sent over to Montreal. We're hoping to get this medium league potential player. I think he could be good for us. He's under contract for the next 3 years. He has potential to be very good. The real question is he going to live up to that potential, and are we going to be able to acquire him? Well, actually, I know for a fact we're going to be able to get him because I'm going to include this first round pick in the deal, and that will probably be enough. They're really saying no to that. Okay, when it comes to trade value, we are offering more than enough here. We are giving up an absolute bag to get this man, and we still can't get him. You better accept the 7th round pick. I know you will, but you better accept it. There we go. With all those trades complete, we're ready to roll. So over the offseason, there was a lot of changes. Oleg, more than likely it's your final season with the team. But you know what that means? You got to get a Stanley Cup with us. The team's still going to be looking great next season. I'm not too concerned. Defensively, we're still in a great spot. You're always going to be the guy for us until we trade you away. But until then, you're the guy. We also have this medium star potential player who's up to 79 overall, so they can be the backup. Thankfully, we've been drafting a lot of goaltenders over the years, and a lot of them have actually developed for us. Except for one. We're not going to mention his name, but if that man developed for us, he'd be the starter right now. And he'd be the clear starter. But he chose not to develop, so here we are. So for the second season in a row, the Everett Elks are finishing first in the entire league, a 52-19-11 record. I am so incredibly concerned because last time we finished first in the entire league, didn't really work out for us. Gavin McKenna's going to lead the way. Oleg's picking up 80 points. Unfortunately, he's going to be leaving the team, though. We're not going to be able to re-sign him. We might have to find a way to do so. He's up to a 90 overall. Okay, I don't really know how we're going to re-sign him, but we got to find a way to do so. When it comes to goaltending, Olandov, 45 wins, 9 shutouts. Bro was incredible this season. Is this team actually going to step up around him? And is he going to be better in the postseason than he was last season? Because yeah, we need him to be way better. We're taking on the Ducks in the first round. No more losing. Like seriously, we can't be folding in the first round here. We're the best team in the entire league. We have a lot of amazing players here. That was a statement in game number 1, but we're immediately folding in game 2. Don't drop game 3. What are we doing? What is this team actually doing here? We're not going to game 7. Whatever you do, don't go to game 7 here. We have to beat the Anaheim Ducks in game number 6. We're winning game 5. We're going to win game 6, and we're going to move on here. No more game 7. I hate this team. I really do. The Everett Elks always have to make things so incredibly complicated. Why could we not just take down the Anaheim Ducks? We're the best team in the entire league, and the Anaheim Ducks are probably going to beat us here. Yeah, we have a 1-goal lead entering the third period, but that doesn't matter. Watch the choke happen. Watch the absolute collapse. We made a huge comeback in this game after allowing 3 unanswered. Y'all better win in overtime. In overtime, we're winning, but we got lucky. So we just got past the Anaheim Ducks. We're losing to LA. If we can barely beat the Anaheim Ducks, there's no way we're beating the Kings. Like, the Kings also had 50+ wins this season. We won 50+ games, but so did the LA Kings. The Anaheim Ducks weren't even close to us, but yet they put up a massive fight. And what are the LA Kings doing? Putting up a massive fight here. We have to win game number 5. It's the most important game. And of course, we're going to be folding. Why am I not surprised? I don't know what's going on with this Everett Elks team, but for some reason, whenever we get into the postseason, we can't win games. I don't know what it is. Y'all better not lose the third period here. We're winning the third period. That's huge for us, but we still have to win game 7. Winning game number 6 means absolutely nothing if we lose this game right here. This is the most important game, game number 7. Winners off to the conference finals. It has to be the Everett Elks. We're clearly the better team, and that's what's going to happen here. As long as we don't choke in the third period, we're moving on here. A massive 6-goal victory. Technically, it was a 4-goal victory, but we scored 6 goals. That's neither here nor there. We won back-to-back games and we're in the conference finals. So we've gone to back-to-back game 7s, but luckily we've won game 7 both times. So you know what's going to happen with Chicago? We'll beat them in game 7. Actually, I just saw that the Chicago Blackhawks only won 39 games during the regular season. So yep, we don't stand a chance against this team. They will absolutely dominate us. Or maybe we figured it out here. We have a 3-1 series lead. I can never understand what's going on with the Everett Elks. I say we're going to be really good, then we're bad. I say we're going to be bad, then we're good. It really doesn't make sense. You never know what you're getting with the Everett Elks, but we're back in the Stanley Cup final. We have to close it out here. We made it to the Stanley Cup final a handful of times in this video, but very rarely do we ever close it out. And what's going to be happening here? We're going to be folding. Should have seen this coming. Like, it's actually ridiculous. This is Stanley Cup number 4 for the Everett Elks, and we've won 1 Stanley Cup here, and we're about to lose to the Islanders unless we show up in the third period when it matters most. But why would we ever do that? Nope, we're losing to the Islanders. We're 1-3 in the Stanley Cup final. We should be way better than this, but we always choke. To be fair, from the very beginning of this postseason, it wasn't giving me a lot of hope. The Everett Elks were underperforming. The team wasn't really looking that good. One of our best players came from the third line, and then Matthew Schaefer was our second best player. Roger McQueen, you were non-existent. Gavin McKenna, where are you? No, seriously, where's Gavin McKenna? Bro did nothing. I just gave you how many millions of dollars? Oh, nah. Okay, we can still trade him. We can still trade him away. If we trade him at the draft, the no movement clause hasn't kicked in yet. Gavin McKenna can still be shipped out. And after this performance, I'm probably going to do it. We trade Gavin McKenna away, and we keep Oleg. We got to figure something out here. Now, let me just ask Oleg what he's actually looking for here, because bro might be asking for way too much money. Okay, he wants $14 million. I'm going to be honest, I'd rather give Gavin McKenna $14 million. So Gavin McKenna, you will return to the team next season. Oh yeah, and just to make things a little bit worse for us, the draft is cooked. We can't even get a mediumly potential goaltender here. We did get this lowly potential player, but yeah, lowly potential players aren't that great unless they're gems. So we're losing a couple pieces. Oleg's going to be leaving the team. Boak's leaving the team. Eklund's leaving the team here. We're losing good pieces. There's no getting over that. We're not going to be as good of a team as we were this season, but we're going to find a way to get back. Garrett's going to return to the team. I'll do 1.3 for one season. You can be our backup goaltender. Perry, I'll give you your entry-level contract. The boys have to bounce back, though. We have been constantly disappointed in the Stanley Cup final. Things have to start changing. Well, it's time for us to pay an absolute bag to a couple players here. We're starting with Briere. What's he going to be looking for? He's a top player for us. This honestly isn't too bad. If we can get this sub $11 million, I'm going to like this deal. And I'm actually going to like this deal a lot if we do 10.5. So can we lock you down for 10.5? We can do less than that. Okay, if I give him a no movement clause, can we do $9 million? Like, not $9 million exactly, but if we did 9.9 with the no movement, okay, we might get this really low. What if I do $9 million? Can we do 9 million? No, we can't. We can do 9.5 though. So 9.5 with a no movement kicking in the final year. I don't hate that. So Briere, you're sticking around. We're actually going to be saving money somehow. And then when it comes to Hamilton, we know this is going to be a massive deal, but not nearly as bad as I thought. So we'll do 11.3 for the next 7. That's going to leave us with around $6 million, and that's going to be enough money for Mark. And then with Mark, we'll do 5.5 for the next 4 years. All the important pieces are sticking around. Now we are going to make one more re-signing. We're giving this mediumly potential defenseman $1.5 million for the next 2 years. I'm assuming he should be able to crack the lineup this season. He'll probably be up to an 80 overall by the time the season starts. And then 1.5 for the next 2. That's going to be a good deal for him. We found our new head coach, Matt Zuccarello. Welcome to the team. You're going to be our head coach. I am putting a lot of faith in you that I probably shouldn't. And the only reason I'm bringing you to the team over a couple other options is because you're Matt Zuccarello. This is the wrong decision. Okay, so we brought in a new head coach. The forward lines are looking basically the exact same here. We still have great line chemistry. When it comes to the defense, though, that's taking the big hit. The first and second pairing nowhere near as good. Even the third pairing is not looking that great, but you know what? We have a bunch of elite players here. We have elite goaltending. That's going to make up for any of the line chemistry problems. So Matt Zuccarello, you were a head coach for one season, and you are now fired. We were 11th in the entire league. We should be way better than 11th in the entire league. I'm putting all this blame on the coach. Matt Zuccarello, you weren't the answer for us. Gavin McKenna was literally -9. That shouldn't be happening. This team should be significantly better than the numbers we posted this season. Look at you, Landoff. That doesn't happen with this man. Look at his numbers so far, his entire career, and then look at the year Matt Zuccarello takes over. There's no way, there's no correlation between those two things. Zuccarello's holding the team back. We're going to fire him over the offseason. We're taking on the Seattle Kraken in the first round. We took a risk with Zuccarello, and it was the wrong decision. Now, like, I really got gassed up when I saw Matt Zuccarello could be our coach, only for that to be the wrong decision. Since we brought this man to the team, we have not been that good. He has been holding us back. Then again, if we win a Stanley Cup here, I don't care where we finish in the entire league, we're Stanley Cup champions. We took the first 3 games against Seattle. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a sweep here. We'll take them out in 5 games. So maybe I have a little bit of faith in Matt Zuccarello. So we took down the best team of the Pacific Division. That was a massive upset. We're moving on to the Vegas Golden Knights next. If we're competing with Seattle, we can compete with everyone. Like, at the end of the day, I don't care how many wins we get during the regular season. The only time wins matter, the postseason. And wins right here mean quite a bit. We split the series so far with the Vegas Golden Knights. If we win game number 5, we're going to be in a great position. But why would we win game number 5? We don't usually do that. Nope, we don't make things easy on ourselves. We're going to make things incredibly difficult. So here we go. We got Everett taking on Vegas. We're exchanging goals in the first period. In the second, Vegas is going to be taking the lead. They're picking up 2 goals to our 1. The third period is going to be a massive one here. And are the Everett Elks going to show up when it matters? Absolutely not. Should have seen this coming. Zuccarello, thank you for coaching the team for this one season, but I've already fired you. Like, you're already out the door. I've made my decision. No, like, Zuccarello, clearly not the guy for this team. The second we brought him here, we just saw a massive fall off. Terrian's going to lead the team. He's picking up 14 points here. Bierre's picking up 12. Once again, Gavin McKenna. I'm so mad I gave you that no movement clause now, because it's back-to-back seasons where this 94 overall has not shown up for us. When it comes to goaltending, you land off, you weren't great either. I don't know what it is with this Everett Elks team. I feel like we have all the potential in the world. We just never live up to it. So not only was the regular season a bust, and the postseason was a bust, but you know what else was a bust? The draft. We went 0 for 5 on selections here. No, things have to change. We got to make some aggressive moves. Okay, so we have $4.2 million. I know for a fact we're not going to be able to afford all these guys, but is there any guys we can get on cheap deals? We could bring this man back to the team, but he wants 2.7 for 1 season. I don't know how I feel about that. Martinson, you're going to walk here. Plant, I guess we keep you around. What are you looking for? If it's reasonable, I'll do that, and that is not reasonable. Yeah, I don't think any of these guys are coming back to the team. Nichushkin, we could probably bring you back. We can do $2 million for 1 season. That's not the end of the world. And then I think that's probably going to be it here. All right, so we have a couple of young pieces that are looking for extensions here. Samnov, I'm not really too sure what you're going to be looking for. I feel like it's going to be a bag. You want $11 million. We only have 10 to work with. So I think we might be writing out your contract. And then with this young player right here, you know what? I guess we can keep them around. They're playing some good top 6 minutes for us. And at this price tag, it's not bad whatsoever. 7.6 million for the next 4. Why not? Terrian's slowly turning into a really good player for us. So you know what? We might as well keep him here. Okay, this is an absolute no-brainer. So Manoff, I'm going to be trading you away here. We're picking up this defenseman from the Ottawa Senators. He's only getting paid $5.3 million for the next 5 years. Unfortunately, if you do this deal, we're not going to have enough money for Terrian, but you know what? We're going to find a way to keep everyone on this team. So I'll throw a second-round pick into this deal, and then hopefully it's going to be enough to get this one done. I guess it's going to take us 2 second-rounders here, but we're getting an absolute steal when it comes to bringing this defenseman onto the team. So I don't really care what else we have to give up. I'm willing to give up first-round picks. That's how much I value this guy from the Ottawa Senators. I'm willing to give up a first-round pick to get him. I'm even willing to give up a second-round pick to get him. I will give up all of our picks in order to get this guy right here. So in order to keep Terrian on the team, Roger McQueen's going to have to be traded here because we just have to free up a bit of cap space. So it's going to be Roger McQueen, a second-round pick. We're bringing in Austin, medium league potential. He was a pretty high-up draft pick, under contract for the next 3 years on his entry-level deal. We're going to be able to afford all the important pieces now. And one of those important pieces, that's going to be Bear, and we're going to do 2.5 for the next 2 years. That's a good deal for him. He plays bottom 6 minutes. I like that contract. All right, so I changed the entire coaching staff from our head coach to our associate to our assistant. Everyone got changed. Even the goaltending coach got changed. We have a different looking team here, but you know what? I still think we're going to be all right. We have a lot of superstar players, a lot of guys that are going to step up in big time moments for us. Goaltending's even looking amazing. Everett has 0 weaknesses. The real question is this team going to perform when it matters? Okay, so maybe it's just been coaching all along. A 59-20-3 record, and then when it comes to the offensive production, Gavin McKenna 115 points. This is what I've been expecting from you. Barnaby, you're going to be picking up 105. Briere's picking up 104. Yeah, we have a big 3 here, and they were absolutely dominant. They were scoring goals like crazy. Ulandov, he's back to putting up great numbers. Zuccarello really held us back last season. There's no other excuse. We're taking on the Nashville Predators in the first round. I don't care if we have a new coach. I don't care if the offense is scoring. We'll still find a way to lose. Like, it's actually amazing. This team always finds a way to lose in the most remarkable fashion. We're going to be shutting out the Nashville Predators in game number 1, but I've seen that before. We're winning game 2. I've seen that before. We're dropping game number 3. Here we go. It's the collapse. The collapse is finally happening. We might have a 3-1 series lead, but we're not going to have that for too much longer. We're going to drop this game. Okay, we have actually been not bad. That's confusing me. I'm used to this team playing horrid constantly. I'm actually a bit surprised now that we're winning some games. We're moving on to the second round. We got some momentum, so I don't really feel like stopping. But you know what? We've almost stopped at this point because it's taken us so long to simulate to the second round. But here we are taking on the Edmonton Oilers next. I'm not really too sure if they have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl at this point. I highly doubt it. We're in the year 2038. So both of those guys have probably retired. But it doesn't matter whether they're there or not. We're somehow losing to them. Just kidding. We won back-to-back games, and we're going to make it 3 straight games, and we're going to make a massive comeback in this series. Who cares if we drop the first 2 games? We're winning 4 straight after that, and we're moving on to the conference finals. Or at least that's what the goal was, but now we're off to game 7 because we dropped game number 6 because this team's complete and utter frauds. We picked up 4 goals in the second period. That should be more than enough. We're stealing this game 6-3. So we've moved on to the conference finals. The Everett Elks have had a decent amount of success in the conference finals, but not really in the Stanley Cup final. So I fully expect us to take down the Chicago Blackhawks here, and we're going to fold in the Stanley Cup final, because why would the Everett Elks not fold in the Stanley Cup final? We're winning game number 1, we're going to drop game 2, we're dropping game 3, and we're dropping game 4. This is why you never believe in this team, because even when they show a glimmer of hope, it goes crashing down so fast. So here we go, Chicago, 3 goals in the first period. We're done with this game. We're simulating the rest of it. We lost 7-4. We allowed 7 goals in an elimination game. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. Maybe it's not coaching. Maybe it's not the forward core. Maybe it's been goaltending all along. Ulandov, have I put way too much faith in you? Are you just not the guy for us? Briere, 21 points. Barnaby's picking up 18. Gavin McKenna, 18. So he actually showed up in the postseason. What was this man's numbers? A 907 and a 290. Let's just look at the past couple seasons. Like, you were mid here, atrocious here, decent here, bad, good, kind of mid. I'm going to actually say this was bad because you had goals against above 3. Maybe Ulandov's just not a postseason performer. Maybe he's not as good as I thought he was. Maybe all of this time I've just believed in Ulandov way too much. The Blackhawks are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, but Everett's got to get something going here. We got to win some Stanley Cups, and we got to do it quick. We're almost 15 years into this rebuild, and we've only won one. That's unacceptable. Now, I don't know how this is possible. This is just incredibly lucky. I accidentally clicked on view retired players. I never click on view retired players. I've never done that so far in this video. I just happened to accidentally click on it this season. And it was the season in which Robert Thomas retired, a member of the St. Louis Blues still. Did he play his entire career with St. Louis? Yes, he did. Robert Thomas, a historic player. 443 goals, 918 assists, 1,361 points. This video is not even about Robert Thomas, but somehow he's still showing up in it. No, like, that's actually incredibly lucky. I just happened to hit view retired players. I haven't clicked on it this entire video, but this was the season I accidentally clicked on it. And yeah, Robert Thomas retired. So shout out to the legend in Robert Thomas. So you know what? It's time to go back to the basics. The basics of drafting medium-league potential goaltenders in the draft. We got to get simple here. We've made things way too complicated over the past couple years. Just keep it simple. And keeping it simple is drafting medium-league potential goaltenders. So more than likely, I think all of these guys are going to be walking. I'm assuming this defenseman's looking for $7 million. How did I know? I just knew that an 83 overall would look for $7 million. Nichushkin, if we can lock you down for $2 million, I'm not against it, but you want 4. Okay. I'm not even going to look at this man's contract ask. He's probably going to be bugging. And I don't even want to waste my time. Alright, now we're certainly in a bit of a difficult position here. Bartkowski's looking for a deal, Schaefer's looking for a deal, and so is Iginla. We have $9 million in cap space right now, but are we going to be able to afford all of these pieces? Bartkowski, you're not worth $15 million, so you will not come back to this team. Schaefer, what are you looking for? $13 million, I don't want to give you that. Iginla, are you going to be the most reasonable player here? You somewhat are. $11 million. I want to look at a potential trade first, because we might be making one. Also, this defenseman wants $6 million. I can't do that. Maybe I can, though. Like, could you take Schaefer's role in the future? Maybe I do that. Like, if I have Richard take Schaefer's role, actually, I don't want to do that, though. We only has medium top 4 potential. Let's not get too risky here. All right, so I think this is what we'll do. Bartkowski, I'm going to send you over to the Philadelphia Flyers. We're going to pick up this guy who's getting paid basically the exact same amount as you right now. He's an 88 overall, 22 years old, but he's under contract for the next 6 seasons. We're also going to get a first and second round pick in this deal. Maybe we don't get the second rounder, but we should be able to get a first. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm just completely bugging when it comes to the trade values. We should be able to get a couple seconds, though. If we don't walk away with any draft picks, we're getting finessed, but we did get some here. So moving over to the Tampa Bay Lightning next, and Bernier, I think you could be a good piece as long as we can re-sign you for a reasonable contract. That's going to be the most difficult part. If we can sign him for around $7-8 million, this is going to be an amazing deal. If we can't get him for that price tag, we low-key might be getting finessed here. I'll give you a second round pick as well, and I think that should be enough. There we go. Now we have to give that man a quick extension. Now Bernier, this is certainly more than what I was hoping for, but you know what? You're 21 years old, $10 million for the next 5. That's honestly not the end of the world. Okay, so we're going to trade Schaefer away, but this is going to be a high risk, high reward deal. We're bringing in Cunning. He has medium league potential. He's 22 years old. He's only an 80 overall. We are going to unlock his potential. We're going to sign him to a long-term deal. We're going to give him a chance to develop on this team. We might pick up Jonas in this deal, and I think we're going to try to get that. Could we get both of these guys? I don't think we can get both of them, but we're going to try. Like, if I give you Philly's second round pick for next season, are we able to get both of them? They're saying no. I'll give you more draft picks. I'm pretty sure we got a couple young prospects, and I'll throw one of them into the deal. So we actually don't really have that many young prospects. We have Carlos, so I'll throw Carlos in this deal. Is that going to be enough to get this done? They're saying no, but they just want a 7th rounder. So you know what? This is certainly going to work out for us. We're getting all the amazing pieces we want here. We're going to be able to keep everyone around. I can live with that. So Jonas, you're a handful, overalls higher. So what are you looking for when it comes to an extension? You want 10.2 million. I don't really like that. Cunning, what are you looking for? This is more what I'm looking for here. So we do 6.5 for the next 5 years. You're going to be thrown on the second pairing, maybe even the first pairing. I'm going to give you a chance to reach that medium league potential. Jonas, we're just going to keep you on the team for 1 season, then I'll trade you away. But at the end of the day, I like that trade we made. Alright, so our bottom 6 right now needs a little bit of help, and Thornton could help us here. So we're going to trade for him. We're giving up one of our defensemen, but you know what? We no longer need that defenseman. Okay, so we have $21 million to work with, so we might as well sign a couple guys in free agency. We're bringing in Beecher. It's going to be $7 million for 1 season. He's immediately joined the team. That's going to leave us with $15 million to work with, and that means I'm looking at a guy like Logan Cooley or Tim Stutzel. I think we're going to go with Logan Cooley here on a 1-year deal. This is going to be great for us. $12 million. I'll do 12.5. I'll overpay just for you to come to this team. I don't even have to overpay. I just feel like overpaying. So yeah, Lone Cooley, welcome to the team. All right, no more folding, no more losing in the postseason, no more anything. Cunning, I kind of want to play you on the second pairing, but you know what? We want to win this season, so I'm going to play you on the third pairing. We got to take risks here. We got to win. Cunning, I'm sorry. I know I said you would play on the second pairing, and it was about your development, but I can't trust you on the second pairing this season. We have to win a Stanley Cup, and with the team we have, I think we can win. I'm just not sure if we can step up when it matters most. Okay, we're looking at stats and everything after, because I just saw something that I didn't think would be possible with the Everett Elks, so we have to focus on this right here. The postseason. This is where it matters. We need everyone to step up. Every player on this team has to step up when it matters most. We're going to sweep the Anaheim Ducks here. We're moving on. Okay, never mind. We lost 5-2. I thought we won that game 5-2. Good thing I'm actually paying attention to what's going on here. Win game number 5. We're moving on to the second round. We have to win here. We did something historic this season, and I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about an individual player. Somebody on this team did something I didn't think would be possible with the Everett Elks, but we have to focus on this right now. We're moving on to the San Jose Sharks. We're going to be meeting them in the second round. Everett, you can't fold. You can't fold with what this team did during the regular season. Not only that one player, but this team in general. We have a 3-1 series lead here. We're going to close out game number 5. We're moving on to the conference finals. Okay, we're dropping that one 6-5. What are we doing? We're not dropping back-to-back games, right? We're going to win this. What are we doing? What are we doing, Everett? I'm sick and tired of this. We can't let this season go to waste. This season right here cannot go to waste. We can't lose. We did that. Why? Why did y'all do that? Okay, well, let's go look at the stats for this team, because somebody did something incredible. Okay, so yeah, we finished first in the entire league, 63 wins. Like, we were okay, 63, 14, and 5. The San Jose Sharks, 51 wins, so only 12 wins shy of us. Barnaby led the team with 119 points. Now, keep in mind, Barnaby is not a sniper. He is a two-way forward, but bro casually picked up 78 goals. Mark Barnaby, who is a two-way forward, picked up 78 goals, and this season went to waste. This season right here, where Mark Barnaby picked up 78 goals, went to waste because nobody could show up in the big time games. In the most important games, everybody disappeared. Barnaby, during the postseason, your goal scoring continued. 8 goals in 12 games. You had 13 points. Gavin McKenna, 13 points. Briere's picking up 11. Ironically, bro is a sniper. Yet Barnaby's outscoring him, but we're not going to worry about it. What happened to everyone else? Why did everybody else fold? And then when it comes to goaltending, you land off. You're done. That was it. That was your last season. You're traded. You're gone. You're out the door. Bro is not returning to the team. Did I give him no movement? Good thing I didn't, because he is traded. I am done with this. I am done with you constantly playing like an absolute scrub. This was your last chance. A 371. You got to be kidding me. You're one of the better goaltenders in the league, and you just gave me a 371. I really might trade bro for a 7th round pick. I'm that mad. I don't even care what we get for him. He's out the door. We're getting a different goaltender. Gabriel Degg, I'm looking at you, because you would be a young goaltender that I think would make sense for us. Ivan Kovic, ideally, you were going to be this team's starter. You were supposed to be the guy for us, but you didn't develop. You just said, nah, I'm going to pack my bags. My career is over at 19 years old. I got nothing to say. All right, so we might have found our new goaltender. He's only a 58 overall, but he can't be worse than you land off in between the pipes. Like, seriously. Like, if you post a goals against a 4 in the postseason, that's pretty close to what we're getting right now. Now, medium league potential goaltender, it's not good enough for me. I also need this 49 overall who has low league potential, because that's the difference maker. So Logan Cooley, we just kept you on the team for the 1 season. We're moving over to Jonas. We're going to qualify him as an RFA, but I just want to see what he's looking for here. $13 million. Yeah, that's why you're not going to stick around. I'll qualify you as an RFA and trade you away. Bear, more than likely we're going to qualify you as an RFA and trade you away. Barring what your qualifying offer is, $2.5 million. I guess that's not the end of the world. And then whoever else we can sign to a reasonable deal, I guess, can stick around. Thornton, I'm not doing 3.6 with you. You're wildin'. So here's a qualifying offer worth $1 million. Also, Beecher, weren't you like an 85 overall when I signed you last season? You had quite the fall off, and it happened quick. Now, this is certainly going to hurt us. Briere, I want to keep you on this team, and you're going to look for a bag, aren't you? I'm not sure if you're worth it. You're a great player and all, but I'm not sure if I can give you this bag. Like almost $16 million when you weren't even the top player for us. I don't know if I can do that. I guess we'll do 15 for the next date, and then I can trade you away next season. That no movement clause I gave you for the 1 season's actually backfiring on us. Who would have thought? But yeah, Briere is going to be sticking around. I don't know how much money that leaves us with, but not very much. Kindle, you want 15 million. So yeah, you'll be traded. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Goaltending is very questionable in the NHL right now. Like, you land off is one of the best goalies. We saw how that man performed. And then when it comes to everybody else, They're all getting paid massive bags. Do we need one of these goaltenders? Like, realistically, we have a couple young guys in the system that continue to improve here. I think one of them can just be the starter for us. So you land off, I'm going to trade you away, and we're going to rock with like an 83, 84 overall goaltender. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Kindle, I'm going to trade you away over to the Washington Capitals. We're going to get Carson, and we're going to hope Carson's willing to accept a cheaper deal. He's an 89 overall. He's a great player. Can we get 2 firsts as well? They're saying no. How about 1 first round pick? Can we get 1? Yes, we can. Now, Carson, please accept a really reasonable deal. Now, I was thinking you were going to ask for less money than Kindle, and technically you are. You only want 10.8 million. So we just got to free up some money here. And you know what? There's a very easy way we do that. So this is what we're doing. Jonas and Ulandov, both of you are going to be sent over to Buffalo. We're going to bring in this centerman. He was drafted in the top 3. I don't recall which pick. Oh, he was first overall. Okay. So we're bringing in the guy that was drafted first overall. We're bringing in this goaltender who's on a 1-year deal. And we're also going to get a 3rd round pick here. Ulandov, I don't like you anymore, so I'm happy to get rid of you. I'm willing to trade draft picks just to get rid of you. Here's a 4th and 5th rounder. Get off my team, Ulandov. I never want to see you again. Bro let me down time and time again. He never helped me. Not once did you ever help me. All right, so right after picking up that goaltender, we're going to lock him down to a 2-year deal at $1 million. He's an 80 overall. Hopefully he can take over sooner than later. Also, now that we made that trade, we have enough money for Carson. So Carson, you're coming back to the team. It's $10.4 million for the next 5. Also, we have enough money where we can bring Bear back for 1 more year, so I'll do $5.8 million for him. He'll stick around for 1 more season. He's only an 83 overall, so that's a massive overpayment. And then when it comes to Thornton, you know what? We can do this. 2.7? Yeah, 2.7 for the next 3 seems fair. So we have 10 seasons left to go here. I don't care how good this team looks. They will always find a way to choke when it matters most. The defense, we have 3 elite defensemen we can rely on. When it comes to goaltending, what are we looking at here? An 82 overall and an 83 overall. Obviously, Perry's got to be the number 1 guy here. What do we have in the AHL? We have an 82 overall. Okay, we're going to let that guy develop for 1 more season, then he'll take over. But Perry, you might only be an 83 overall, but I'm putting a lot of faith in you. You can't be worse than Ulandov. Like, that man let me down time and time again, and we're going to find out, is it the defense or is it the goaltending? Personally, I think it's the goaltending. That man just folds all the time. So here we go. Everett, you're first in the entire league. 65 wins. You tied a record this season. I don't care about any of that. Barnaby, you recorded 83 goals this season. You were over a goal per game. You've been perfect this season. The team has been perfect. Goaltending was great from Perry. He's a superstar for us, but can he step up in the most important games? Ulandov, have you been holding us back? Has it been the defense? Has it been the offense? We're about to find out. We have a new goaltender. We haven't gone through too many goaltenders so far in this video, but we're about to try out a new one. So Perry, are you going to be the difference maker? By putting you in between the pipes, are we going to start winning? 6 goals in game number 1. There is really no excuse for that. I don't care how bad the offense is. I don't care how bad the defense is. 6 goals in game number 1 is unacceptable. Y'all better not lose game number 5 here. We're winning game 5. We're going to close it out in game 6 and move on to the second round with not a lot of confidence because we lost game number 1. After losing game number 1, after that game number 1 loss, I have no confidence in this team anymore. I really don't. Like Perry, I don't care if you pick up shutouts for the rest of the postseason here. I just don't have faith in you. I don't know what it is. I don't know why we can't win. We have all the pieces we need here, but for some reason we can just never figure it out when it matters most. We're about to take down the Edmonton Oilers, and if I remember, Edmonton is one of the better teams in the entire league, but first we have to get past them. Just because we're a really good team, that doesn't matter. Edmonton's also a really good team, and they're putting pressure on us by picking up 3 goals in the first period. This game is over. We're done. We lost 5-4. It doesn't matter who's our goalie. It doesn't matter how many superstars we have. It doesn't matter how many games we win during the regular season. We will always find a way to lose. No, like real talk, what do I actually do? Our forward core is amazing. We have an 83 goal scorer on the team. Defensively, we're great. And then in between the pipes, Perry stepped up when he had to, and he was great this season. But even with all of that, we still can't get out of the second round, and we can't win with this team. Nah, the Everett Elks are just straight frauds. Like, what happened in the postseason? Did we just completely fall apart or something? No, we did not. Barnaby picked up 16 goals in 13 games. It's the bottom 6. They just disappear when it matters most. Carson was plus 18. I can't ask for him to do any more. Goaltending wise, Perry, you were actually better than Ulandov would have been. You had a goals against of 2.72. That's way better than what Ulandov would have been. but it just still wasn't enough here, and we're falling to a better team, a team that went on to win the Stanley Cup. Okay, I'm low-key sick and tired of this. I am done with medium league potential goaltenders. Stop giving me medium league potential goaltenders. Give me medium league potential players who are 80 overall to begin their career. That's what I need. Also, we had 2 picks in the draft, so yeah, it was pretty quick. So we have $8 million to work with. Nobody's coming back to this team because we can't afford to bring anyone back. Everyone's being qualified as an RFA, or at least if you can be qualified as an RFA, you're coming back to the team. Maybe these low league potential players we can sign, and I could do this. I can do 2.1 for 2 years. He'll be a decent enough depth defenseman for us, and then this defenseman right here will do the exact same thing. Except I'm looking at multiple years, never mind, we're just doing 1.6 for 2 years. There's our third pairing. So those 2 guys right there. Alright, so Barnaby, obviously you're the most important player to this team. What are you going to ask for? You can ask for whatever you want. $21 million. You cannot ask for whatever you want because you will be traded, and that's what we're doing immediately here. $21 million. That is the wildest thing I've ever seen. Like, you're a great player and all, don't get me wrong, but 21 million, 21 M's, that's a lot of M's right there. Alright, so Austin, I'm going to send you over to the Calgary Flames. We're picking up Peterson. He has high top 6 potential. He's an 88 overall. And I'm kind of just praying I can re-sign him to a very cheap deal. I don't think we'll be able to, but it's worth the risk. We're also getting a first round pick in the deal. So yeah, that's a massive steal. So Barnaby, you're an 83 goal scorer, but I'm not giving you 21 M's or 22 M's. All I remember is it was a lot of M's. We're picking up Cooperman. We're picking up Hay. I think Hay was drafted 1st overall. Either 1st overall or 2nd overall. He was drafted. That's not the right player. That's also not the right player. He was drafted 3rd overall. He's a good young playmaker. It's going to take Barnaby in a little bit more. So I'll throw in a 2nd round pick, and I believe that should be enough. I don't think we're that far off. There we go. A 2nd round is going to get this deal done. Alright, so one of our RFAs is going to be sent over to the Edmonton Oilers. We're getting 2 really good young players as well as a 2nd round pick. Okay, I thought we could get that 2nd rounder. I guess we're going to go for a 3rd rounder. At the end of the day, I'm more focused on getting these prospects. And you know what? I don't even care about draft picks anymore. Just give me those 2 prospects. Now we're going to make one more deal. We're picking up Bogosian once again. Good young defenseman. He's an 81 overall on his entry-level contract for 3 years. We just need cheap players to play on the 3rd pairing, and he's one of those guys. Now this is where we're going to run into a little bit of issues. Peterson, we picked you up, but can I actually afford to keep you on this team? You want $8.7 million. Okay, yeah, you're just going to walk. I mean, I'll qualify you as an RFA and trade you away, but yeah, for 1 season, you'll be good enough. Nathaniel, you're going to be leaving the team as well. I can't afford to keep you. Sharoff, I wouldn't mind keeping you on the team, and for $900K, that's actually a pretty good deal. And then I guess we can just re-sign 2 of these guys right here, 2-way contracts. We need somebody to play in the AHL for us. Okay, so Perry has low franchise potential now. How much trade value does he have? Because if he has low franchise potential, he might have a lot of trade value. Let's see how much he has. Okay, it's not nearly as much as I thought it would be. But yeah, we'll hold on to him for this 1 season, and then this guy's probably taking over. Yeah, we just need cheap goaltending from here on out. Truthfully, it doesn't matter if we have a 90 overall in between the pipes or an 80 overall. It's going to be the same result. Alright, I don't think you can name a better team in the league. We have almost all 90 overalls in our top 6. The bottom 6, a lot of 85s. The defense, looking spectacular. No weaknesses here whatsoever. Goaltending, spectacular. An 87 and an 86. First round exit. We all see it coming. So once again, the Everett Elks first in the entire league, but that means absolutely nothing. Gavin McKenna, 92 points. Doesn't mean anything to me. Cooperman, 87. Briere, 86. None of this means anything to me. Goaltending, spectacular from both of these guys. Doesn't mean anything. And why does it mean nothing? We all know what's going to happen against Vegas. We're going to lose to Vegas. The Everett Elks have had such a good team for so long now. Yet, for some reason, this team constantly struggles to win. I don't know what it is, but in the big time games, the lights are always too bright for this team. Maybe things are different now. We might be sweeping the Vegas Golden Knights. We got to keep on going here. This is the first time the team's actually shown up in the first round. Usually we lose one game or get blown out in one game. No, the team's actually looking good right now. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers. They don't have McDavid. They don't have Draisaitl. There's no one on this team that should be able to stop us. Are we taking a 3-1 series lead? Of course we aren't. We're going to be splitting the series. We're going to drop game number 5. We're actually not dropping game 5 here. Is this team showing up in the big time games for once? Yes, we are. What's been the big difference so far? Goaltending. Our goaltender has picked up 3 shutouts so far. If goaltending continues to look like this and defense continues to look like this, we actually might be winning a Stanley Cup with the Everett Elks. We might be doing it once again here, but we've dropped back-to-back games. We got to stop that right now. We have to win this game right here. It's the big game, and yes, we're going to be winning that one. Close it out in game 6. Move on to the Stanley Cup final, 7-0. y'all really had to lose 7-0. So we have absolutely no momentum heading into Game 7. We allowed 7 goals last game, didn't score 1. Are the boys going to step up when it matters most? We're picking up a goal in the first period. We're picking up 3 in the second. We got this game in the bag, a 6-0 shutout. We're in the Stanley Cup final. We've made it to the Stanley Cup final, but the job's not done. The job is not finished with the Everett Elks. We still have to beat the Red Wings. I don't care if the Everett Elks go 82-0. It doesn't matter until we win this final game in the final series in the Stanley Cup final. None of it matters until we win game number 5. We have to win game number 5, and then we're Stanley Cup champions. We've done it with the Everett Elks. We've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, but the boys have finally done it yet again, Stanley Cup champions, but the job's still not finished. We have a handful more years to go, but we will celebrate this one right here. Finally, after years of constant disappointment, the Everett Elks Stanley Cup champions. And why did it happen this season? Yeah, we had great goal scoring, but it all came down to goaltending. Perry, 15 wins, 4 shots, a 927 and a 217. And now I can't keep you on the team because I can't afford you because you're looking for probably $19 million now. That's tough. That is very, very tough. Like, seriously, how much is this man looking for? Like, I know he's going to want an absolute bag here. Can we afford to give him a bag? I don't think so. What does he want when it comes to a contract? $11 million. Is there any way we can free up money? We have 3.3 right now. We could trade somebody away, probably free up another 6 million. That gets us to 9. And then with the salary cap going up, we actually might have enough. So if we were to ditch somebody, who would it be? I don't know. I don't mind this defenseman right here. Carson's looking pretty solid for us. Cunning. We get rid of Cunning. All right, Perry, welcome back to the team. Also, we got the 16th overall pick from the Calgary Flames, so I might as well point that out. Now, thank you, Calgary, for this amazing draft pick right here. A 78 overall with medium top 4 potential. Give him a couple years to develop, and he's going to be a great player for us. Okay, we might be cooking now that we've won a Stanley Cup because the drafting is looking really good. A lowly potential defenseman. He's starting off as a 72 overall, similar to the last defenseman we drafted. Give him a couple years to develop. Okay, things have definitely changed. We didn't get a mediumly potential goaltender. We got a highly potential goaltender. That is a game changer right there. We have goaltending for the future, so maybe I don't bring Perry back. Maybe I don't sign him to a long-term deal because Markov could be the guy for us. Like, give Markov 4 years to develop, then he can be the starter for us moving forward. We might be cooking there. So Peterson, we're going to keep you on this team, but you're just going to be qualified as an RFA. We're going to sign a handful of these rookies. But Perry, I think we're going to have to let you walk here. I mean, I'll re-sign you to the team, qualify you as an RFA, but do I want to give you 11.2 million? I don't think so. So yeah, we'll qualify you as an RFA and then we'll trade you away. I just don't want to commit that much money to you, especially with how goaltending's been in this video. Landolf looked like he was going to be a superstar goaltender, and we saw how that aged for us. So yeah, I just don't trust goalies anymore. Okay, so we got a lot of guys that want extensions here, and a lot of them are going to want big time dollars. Gavin McKenna being one of them. More than likely, you're just going to be walking here. Or hold on, maybe not. We re-sign you for 1 season, then I trade you away next year. Then we'll get a lot of assets for Gavin McKenna. That's what we're doing. Gavin McKenna, you're sticking around for 1 more season. We'll do $15 million for 3 years. That works for me. It's $500K more than what you're getting paid right now. And then when it comes to the rest of these guys, I don't really know what we do here. This defenseman's looking for a bag. He wants $13 million. I don't know if he's worth $13 million. Terrian's looking for borderline $13 million for 1 season. I don't really want to do that, so we'll probably trade him away. Luckily, we have this guy right here. Hopefully, we can sign a cheap deal with him. And if we can, we'll probably keep him around. But he wants $8 million, so that's not going to happen. There's going to be a lot of changes happening this season. Okay, so we're going to be losing Perry, but that's perfectly fine because we got Rick, and we can always rely on Rick here. It's going to be 2.3 for 2 years. He's an 87 overall. Yeah, he's the same overall as Perry, but Perry wants 18 million. So yeah, it works out for us. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to trade both of these guys over to the New Jersey Devils. We're going to get an 89 overall. He's a right winger. He's on a reasonable enough contract for an 89 overall, 9.2 for the next 5. We just got to clear up money here. That's the main reason we're making a deal like this. We'll throw a 7th rounder in the deal, and that should be enough to get this one done. Yeah, that's going to be a really good deal for us. Or at least it should be. Based on how things have gone in this video, who knows what a good deal is anymore. So Peterson, we're going to trade you away here. I was kind of hoping we could keep you long term, but then you didn't sign a reasonable deal. So you and the 1st rounders off to the Rangers. We're getting Ekford. He's like an 81, 82 overall player, but he's on his entry-level contract, and we love players on their entry-level contracts because we can keep them on the team at a very cheap price. I'm very surprised that they're not saying no to this, considering I've given you more than enough. So I'll change the package up a little bit. I'll give you multiple 3rd rounders. I'm giving you multiple picks in this deal. It should be a no-brainer for you. but you guys are dumb. I didn't want to do 2 first-round picks, but you know what? We really have to get this deal done. So yeah, let's get crazy out here. 2 first-rounders isn't enough. I'll give you a second-rounder and a third-rounder. This is a massive package for a rookie, but you know what? I see the potential. All right, so Sar and Hemo, we know you're not coming back to the team. So you and the third rounder is going to be sent over to Colorado. We're getting Heatley in a second-rounder, and then we're going to flip those assets. You know what? We're just going 1 for 1 here. Keep the deal simple. And now that we've picked up Heatley, he's going to be flipped over to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we're going to get the defenseman we actually want. We're getting Delmas. He's locked down for the next 3 years at $8 million. He could be a good defenseman for us. We're also going to get a second-round pick in this deal, or at least some type of draft pick. Let's just make it a third and fourth rounder. We'll keep it simple here. We're getting all the assets we want. We're going 1 for 1. Let's not make this more complicated than it has to be. All right, so Perry, we're going to ship you out here along with 2 fourth rounders and a third. We're picking up these 2 young prospects. Both of them are fairly young. They got some decent potential, and as long as we can unlock that potential, we're going to be in a great spot. So yeah, this is the package we're sending over. Now I think we're done with all the moves now. All right, we're actually making one more deal here because we have a surplus of playmakers. We're picking up Devin from the Florida Panthers. He's a 2-way forward that's going to play on our second line. They're saying no to 1 for 1 here. It shouldn't cost us too much more. We could just give up all of our picks for the next couple of years. Here's 2 fifth rounders, and that's what we're doing. All of our picks except for the 7th rounder is going to be traded away. 2 fifths, 2 sixths, and a medium league potential player, and that's still not enough. Okay, what do you actually want? You know what? We're just going to flip those assets somewhere else. We'll get this deal done. So if I send all those picks over to the Minnesota Wild, are you willing to give me a second rounder? They don't have any second rounders. LA, do you have second rounders? Yes, you do. So I think this is a pretty fair deal. Actually, we might be able to get a little bit more. Maybe we can get our 4th round pick back. Is that going to be enough? They're saying no, it's a little bit low. I'll take the 4th rounder out. We'll just get the second in this deal, but the second round pick does have a lot of value. So maybe after acquiring that second round pick, we can get this deal done. If we can get this done now that I got that second round pick, it's a bit ridiculous. Like literally, this second round pick had as much value as those other assets. I'm going to send this over. They're saying no. Like, how many young prospects do we have? We should have a couple young prospects here. We've made a lot of trades over the years. I'll trade this one right here, and I think this should be enough for us to get Devin. There we go. All right, so after all of that work, I can confidently say this team is nowhere near as good as last season, but you know what? It was only a matter of time before we lost a handful of the good pieces. When managing the salary cap, it's pretty difficult when every player wants $9 million. Even if you're an 81 overall, you want $9 million. We just can't afford to keep everybody. Luckily, we still have a great goaltender on a cheap contract, so we got him for the next 3 years at the minimum. So the boys might have fallen off here, but we still have a really good team, second in the entire league, 52, 23, and 7. However, I just have my questions about this team, but then it's very clear why I have my questions about this team. Past results. Past results make me feel the way I do about this team. Gavin McKenna, you're 93 overall. I'm trading you away next season. Goaltending wise, Rick was actually pretty solid. 42 wins, 5 shots, a 913 to 251. Yeah, the backup wasn't that great, but you know what? We're not too focused on the backup. We're focused on the star players for this team and whether or not they can show up again. We got the Seattle Kraken in the first round. More than likely, we're taking on Edmonton in the second, so we could have 2 really tough rounds for us to start off with. But you know what? Let's not worry about a second round matchup just yet. Let's just focus on one game at a time here. We're taking game 1. We're taking game 2. Can we steal game number 3? Yes, we can. All the victories coming in overtime so far until that 6-0 loss. Yeah, it's not really a great sign for this team. We can't be collapsing like that, but don't worry, we're winning another overtime game here, because why wouldn't we win all these games in overtime? We could have been easily swept in this series. We're just lucky the big-time performers were showing up in those big-time games, but the fact that we had to win all those games in overtime, not really a great sign. We're winning 7-4 in game 1, 4-3 in game 2. Okay, maybe this team is legit, and then we proceed to allow 7 goals. Luckily, we do have a 3-1 series lead here, and I don't see us choking that away. Another overtime victory. Okay, the big-time performers know how to score overtime winners, and you know what? I'm here for it. As long as we continue to score those overtime winners, we're going to be in a great spot. But now we have the Colorado Avalanche up next, and Colorado is certainly not going to be messing around with us. We're in the conference finals. No team's going to take it easy on us, but that's back-to-back 7-goal games. Game 5's huge. Can we steal this one away from the Colorado Avalanche? No, we can't. We're off to game 6 elimination. We got to stay alive in this series. We got to run it back. We got to make it to the Stanley Cup final. This team's looking to repeat. So here we go. Game 6. We're allowing 2 goals in the first period. We are absolutely getting smoked in this game. 6-2. We didn't stand a chance. This game was over in the second period. The big time performers just couldn't show up anymore. Okay, before anything happens here, before we even look at stats, the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup here. They swept the New York Rangers. Where did that team finish in the entire league? Because they were the 3rd seed in the Central Division. I don't think they were that good of a team. 13th in the entire league, a 40, 28, and 14 record. The only reason this team made the playoffs, overtime losses. Like, that's literally the only reason they made it. Dallas had a very similar record to them, except they had 12 overtime losses. So we lost to a fraudulent team. Nah, ain't no way we're losing to the Colorado Avalanche. That team wasn't even close to being as good as we were. But when the big game showed up, what happened for this team? Well, based on the plus minuses, I'm assuming goaltending wasn't that great for us. And Rick, you were a fraud. Why am I not surprised? Goaltending's really been the one thing that just constantly holds us back. Even though we have great players and a superstar team, once the postseason comes around, nobody steps up. And I don't really understand why. Also, we're probably not going to stop at the draft here because we have like, what, one pick to work with? Maybe not even. Alright, so Shane's going to return to the team. He's an 80 overall. We'll do a 2x2 with him. All I really need him to do is play some third pairing minutes for us. When it comes to almost everybody else, unless you're going to have value, you're probably going to be walking here. So Gavin McKenna, as I mentioned last season, we're going to trade you away here. We're going to get quite a bit for you. We're going to get a mediumly potential player in Fox. He's going to be a good forward for us. We're getting this young defenseman that we'll probably be trading away. And we're also going to get 2 first-round picks here. Honestly, I don't even care about getting this defenseman. All I really care about is getting a couple picks alongside Fox, and that's what we're going to be able to get. But I'll have to give up something in this deal, and it's going to be a 7th round pick. Hopefully I don't have to do too much more than that, and it doesn't look like we're going to have to. Okay, so from here on out, I want the top 6 basically staying the exact same. We're just going to be adjusting the bottom 6. Luckily, we have some mediumly potential players playing on our bottom 6, so we're going to pick up Asham here. He'll be on our team for the next 3 years, then we'll probably trade him away because he's going to be looking for $15 million. But until then, he's only making $1 million. Alright, but we're not done quite yet because now we're picking up McGuire. He's going to be costing us a lowly potential player in a 3rd and 4th rounder. But honestly, that's not the end of the world. He's going to play bottom 6 minutes. I don't need him to do too much here. Alright, so we're just going to make one more trade here. We're picking up this defenseman from Seattle, considering we basically have no left defenseman on our team. But there's nothing we can really do about that because there's no left defenseman in the league. It's a right defenseman league right now. Nothing we can do about it. So we're going to do a couple re-signings. Jacob Anjanov, you're coming back to the team, 2.4 for 2 years. Considering we're actually going to have a decent amount of cap space, we can do that. Alright, so this is the top 6 for the foreseeable future. The bottom 6 will slowly change over the years, but these are the core pieces that are going to be sticking around. A lot of these guys are fairly young, so we should be keeping them on the team for a long time. When it comes to the defense, that's still in a great spot here. We have a ton of superstar players. Hamilton, I would prefer if you play on the top pairing though. And then when it comes to goaltending, Rick, you have to be better than you were last postseason. Bro was an absolute fraud. He was reminding me of you, Landoff. We can't be doing that here. You need to be better in the postseason. It's not always the fault of everybody in front of you. Sometimes you have to make that extra save. Alright, so we are clearly the best team in the entire league. We had 20 more points than the New York Rangers, a 60, 16, and 6 record. There's a lot of 6s in that. Cooperman's going to lead the way. He has 92 points. He was great this season. Briere's picking up 89 points. Bernier's picking up 75. We had great scoring depth here. We had fantastic goaltending. Who could potentially let us down in the postseason? Oh, I don't know, just about everybody. We have Edmonton in the 1st round. Now, in moments like these, you really just start to question your team. Is your team good enough? Can they step up in the big time moments? Or are they complete and utter frauds every single season? We are not losing to the Edmonton Oilers. We're not doing this. Yeah, we dropped game number 2. Luckily, we're winning back-to-back games after that. We haven't necessarily been the best defensively so far. If you blow a 3-1 series lead, the video ends right now. I'm not kidding. Okay, I might be partially lying because I'm way too far in this video just to cancel it right now. But yeah, we're really about to lose. We got smoked. 7 goals. Yeah, we're not ending the video right now. Like, I'm way too far into this rebuild to cut it right now. But yeah, a 25-year rebuild, and we're blowing 3-1 series leads. We're the Everett Elks, a team that won 60 games. What could it possibly be that's letting us down? I don't get it. Like, we finished 1st in the entire league almost every single season, so you can't say, oh, you just have a bad team, you have to make a better team. When you win 60 games, ideally, you can get out of the 1st round. I feel like that's not too high of expectations. You win 60 games during the regular season, you make it out of the 1st round, don't blow a 3-1 series lead. I feel like it shouldn't really be that difficult. Over the past decade, we have been the best team in the entire league that has seen no success. It doesn't make sense to me, it really doesn't. So look at all of these frauds right here. All of them are terrible. Just a bunch of bums. Goaltending, Rick, you weren't even atrocious. You allowed 7 goals in that last game and still finished with a goals against under 3. How did you do that? A goals against under 3 after allowing 7 goals. Not gonna lie, kind of impressive. Now, don't worry, guys. We might have lost in the 1st round to the Edmonton Oilers, but we got a 66 overall with medium top 6 potential. That's going to make up for it. Or at least I kind of hope it does. Why is this player card not loading? It won't load. Okay, there we go. Dave Gibbons. Yep, that's what we got here, and that's all we're getting. Okay, so we have one man looking for an extension. That's going to be Nicholas Hay. I'm not giving him $11 million. You're only an 85 overall. We do have this young guy, though, 80 overall, 19 years old, so yeah, he's going to jump to the lineup for us. We have this other good young player in Zajac. He's going to jump to the lineup as well, 74 overall. Okay, maybe he won't jump to the lineup. He could potentially, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Okay, so you remember how last season I said, oh yeah, we're going to keep the top 6 around. It's going to be the same guys for a long time here. We're going to trade 2 of them, because 2 of them have franchise potential and we can get a lot for them. Cooperman, I'm assuming you're asking for $20 million. You want 16. Don't really want to give you 16 million. I know you have a modified no trade clause here. How many teams can you actually be traded to? Colorado, San Jose, Vegas. All right, that does not make it easy for us, but it gives us 3 options. Hamilton, we're going to trade you wherever we want. With that being said, Bernier, we can bring you back to the team. You're looking for $13 million. We're going to try to do less than that. Could we do like 11.5? I feel like 11.5 would be fair for you. So Bernier is going to be sticking around 11.5 for the next 8 years. That's not too much more than what he's getting paid right now. Delmas, you've actually turned to a pretty solid defenseman for us, so I'm not afraid to give you this deal. We'll do $11 million. Actually, we do 10.5. 10.5 for the next 4 seems pretty fair with him. So Delmas, you're going to be sticking around. McGuire, we're going to write out your contract. We'll write out these medium league potential players' contracts, then we'll trade them away. Also, when it comes to Rick, who's an 89 overall, you're not coming back to the team next season. Even if you're only asking for $3 million, I'm not bringing you back. We're running cheap goaltenders for the rest of this video because the expensive goaltenders just don't work anymore. Okay, this is actually the greatest deal of all time. Hamilton, we're going to ship you out, and we're getting 3 really good defensemen here. We're getting an 87 overall defenseman. He's going to be great for us. We're also going to be getting an 88 overall defenseman. He's going to be great as well. And we're also getting an 85 overall forward. All of them are under contract for multiple years. That's a no-brainer. All right, so this is what we're going to do with Cooperman. We're going to trade him over to San Jose, and we're going to get 4 first-round picks as well. Even if we don't get 4 first-round picks, it's not the end of the world. I would like to get 3, and we're going to get Hickey and 3 first-round picks. Considering the San Jose Sharks were a really bad team last season, this is going to be an absolute steal for us. Now, you know what? I've actually circled back with McGuire here because I think he's going to turn into a top 6 player for us. So if I have to pay him $10 million, it's honestly not going to be the end of the world. So we'll do 10.4 for the next 4 with him. Yeah, he's going to be sticking around. That's not too bad of a deal. Now, we're keeping this next deal as simple as possible. Hay and a second-round pick is going to be sent over to Philly. We're getting Brunette in this deal. I'm actually very surprised they're not saying yes to this. Do you want a first-round pick? I'm okay with giving up our first-round pick. I know we're going to be a really good team, so yeah, here you go. Take our first-round pick. We're going to be a good team. We won't win the Stanley Cup final, but it's not going to be a super valuable pick. All right, you might be thinking I'm absolutely crazy doing a deal like this, but you got to trust the process here. $5.3 million for the next 5 years. He's an 80 overall. He's 22 years old. He's going to keep on getting better. Delmas, we're actually not keeping you on the team anymore. Okay, we could potentially be cooking here. Delmas is going to be traded away as well as a second round pick. We're getting Mackey, and we're also getting this other medium league potential defenseman. I'm thinking we could re-sign that defenseman for fairly cheap. Like, he's only like a 76 overall, but he does have medium league potential. He has potential. That's what he has for sure. So I'm going to send this package over. They're saying no. They want a couple more draft picks. Luckily, none of the draft picks we're trading away are super valuable, so we should be able to get this deal done. Now, when it comes to that defenseman, let's see what he's asking for. Keep in mind, he is a 76 overall, so really he shouldn't be asking for too much. So as a 76 overall, he's only looking for 1.3 million. What if we did a multi-year deal? If we did 4 years, we can actually do pretty cheap. So we'll do 4 years at 1.7 million. That's actually pretty good. Even if he doesn't develop into a medium league potential player, he'll be a serviceable defenseman for us. So it's the same story every year. We're going to finish first in the entire league. We're going to have an incredible regular season, probably win 60 plus games, and then when the postseason comes around, we're going to fold. Mario, more than likely you're going to be our starting goaltender next season. Honestly, I wouldn't be against that. Rick, I know for a fact you're going to let us down, even though you are an 89 overall and one of the best goalies in the league, if not the best. You will still find a way to let me down. Now, I feel like we've seen this before. First in the entire league, a 52, 24, and 6 record. One of the best offenses in the league. One of the best defenses. This seems really familiar. Briere's going to lead the way. He's picking up 75 points. Bernier's going to be coming in second, 75 points. Devin's picking up 71. This all looks very familiar. Rick's having another great season. He picked up 8 shutouts and 914 to 253, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Why does this seem so familiar? Oh, because it's like every season ever. Every season the Everett Elks do this. They give us a lot of hope, and then they completely collapse, and it's just a dumpster fire towards the end. So last season we won 60 games and lost in the first round. There is no way we lose in the first round in back-to-back seasons, right? Nope, there's no way that happens. It is impossible for us to lose in the first round in back-to-back postseasons. Nope, if you're winning 50 plus games, there's no way you're losing in the first round, especially when you're first in the entire league. That's just impossible. That would never happen. Nope, not in back-to-back seasons. Like, imagine a team winning 60 games, they lose in the first round, then the next season they win 52 games, and then they lose in the first round. You would think that they're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nope, they're the Everett Elks. Because this team just refuses to do anything competent. How is it possible that this team folds every single time? Like, every time. That doesn't seem possible. Why is it happening? I have no words. The Washington Capitals are Stanley Cup champions, but I couldn't care less. Rick, you played your final games with the team, and in the big time moments, the lights were too bright for you. The lights are too bright for every player on this team. I don't know how it happens all the time. Like, seriously, every single player on this team, none of you could show up. Like, not one single player could show up. It really doesn't make sense to me. I am convinced we're better off when we have 80 overall goaltenders. The one good thing is we do have a handful of picks, and we are getting the first overall pick from San Jose. So as long as there's a franchise potential player here, I'll be happy. But more than likely there probably isn't, and if anything, we're getting a high top 6 potential defenseman. That's probably going to be our best selection. So I guess we'll just see what we can cook up here. Can we please get a franchise potential player? It doesn't look like it, but we're going to get Wyatt Price. He's a good power forward. What overall is he? He's an 82. He can immediately jump to the lineup for us. So we've reached the re-sign phase, and this is going to be incredibly simple. Qualify in RFAs, that's it. We're going to qualify both these guys and they'll be traded away because I know for a fact neither of them are going to accept reasonable deals. Joey's looking for $7 million. Bro, you're a fourth line guy. Respectfully, you're not worth that. And then Michael, yeah, we're not even going to acknowledge that. But on top of those two guys right there, Rick. Old Rick. Good buddy Rick. Yeah, he's gone, and I'm not going to miss him. No, Carson, I want to keep you on this team. You're a great player, but that depends on what you're looking for. And this isn't too bad. I was thinking you were going to be asking for $18 million, so we're going to be keeping Carson around here. And you know what? We're actually going to give him a no movement clause. He's probably going to be sticking around for the rest of the rebuild. We really only have 5 years left here. So yeah, $12 million for the next 7 with Carson. That's a great deal. So Jim Carson, welcome back to the team. That's not a bad deal whatsoever. And then moving on to a guy like Jackson Fox, we might as well keep him around as well. So Jackson Fox's deal is going to be looking a little bit like this. It's going to be 8.8 for the next 2 years. A fantastic deal. And then when it comes to these two young guys right here, we'll write out their contracts and trade them away. Nothing to worry about there. Also, what a steal. I know this guy was a healthy scratch for us last season, but 1.3 for the next 2, that's a no-brainer for an 81 overall. Like, look at Sharoff, who's a lower overall. He wants 3.3. He's wildin'. Alright, I don't think Sakic has ever played a game for us, and he's asking for $6.7 million. Have you played any regular season games for us? You did one season. Back in 2042, 2043, you recorded 5 points, and you think you're worth 6.7. That's a good one. So Mario, you were a decent enough goaltender for us last season, so we're going to keep you around. It's going to be 1.825 for the next 2 years. You're an 84 overall. We're also going to have this other medium league potential player. You know what? He's just going to be the backup for us. We'll do 2 years at $1 million. That's going to be another really cheap deal for us. So the goaltending's cheap. The real question is the cheap goaltending going to show up? More than likely. I believe in cheap goaltenders more than I do $10 million goalies. And that's saying something. Alright, so this is the package we're going to do, I guess. Both the RFAs over to the Boston Bruins. We're going to get this lowly potential player. He's not going to turn into too much, but he will be an 82 overall. We've got this other young prospect who has medium top 6 potential. He's a 70 overall. Multiple second rounders and a third round pick. They're saying it's a little bit low, so I'll certainly give you our 7th rounder. The 7th rounder from the Everett Elks, of course, is going to make the difference here. What a steal. So this is the Everett Elks. A team known for disappointment. It doesn't matter how good they are. They could win 70 plus games, and we all know what would happen in the Stanley Cup final. We're trusting in Mario. We have a different goaltender, 86 overall, but I don't care if I have Patrick Waugh and Marty Brodeur combined in between the pipes for us. We'll still lose in 7 games in round number 1. Like at this point, we could have Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews combined with Wayne Gretzky, and that player would probably have less than a point a game just because it's the Everett Elks. I really don't get this team. Okay, I don't know what was wrong with the Everett Elks this season, but we were incredibly bad up until like 2 months ago. At one point, we were 26-20-3. This team stepped it up big time after the trade deadline. We've been one of the hottest teams in the entire league. But when it comes to our goal scoring, 3.1 doesn't seem bad until you realize our leading scorer has 61 points. Yep, the best scorer on this team. 61 points. So you already know this team's losing in the first round. If your leading scorer only has 61 points, you don't stand a chance. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers. There's no point in even looking at the playoff bracket. We know it's going to happen. Like, I don't care what the playoff bracket looks like. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers. We're bound to lose. We're dropping game 1. Wow, what a surprise. We're dropping game 2. Who would have seen that coming? We're going to drop game number 3 here. Ooh, what a surprise. A big win. Back-to-back big wins. No, the Everett Elks are rolling right now. Is it going to be 3 in a row? Of course it won't be. We're going to drop that one. Okay, this team's actually winning games. They're giving me a little bit of hope. So you know what that means? We're going to lose. Okay, we just won 4 games in a row. The Everett Elks don't normally do that. We're moving on to the second round. We have the LA Kings. Do you want to win another 4 in a row here? Just sweep the LA Kings. We move on to the conference finals. I feel like the Everett Elks do better the worse their record is. Like, if this team has a really bad record, they're going to do better in the postseason. Like, we're going to take down the LA Kings here. We're going to move on to the conference finals. We were 4th in the entire league, by the way, and we had a 61-point scorer as our best player. Like 61 points led this team in scoring. We're dropping game number 1 against the Nashville Predators, but that's not the end of the world because this team's going to find a way to respond. We're winning game 2, we're winning game 3, we're winning game 4. We're not doing this. We're not winning a Stanley Cup when our top player records 61 points. That's not going to happen here. We really just made to the Stanley Cup final. This team is going to somehow pull this out. They're going to do the impossible. No, like this is actually stupid. This is really dumb. The Everett Elks are finally going to do it, or we're going to get swept. We're down 3-1. You know what? We're just going to keep on simulating games because that's worked for us up until this point. We lost in overtime. What does that make us? What does that make us? 1-5 in the Stanley Cup final? This team never shows up when it matters because the lights are always too bright. If the lights were dim, this team would be okay. But nope, the lights are bright, so we can't show up in the important games. The forward core, not too bad. Brieri's picking up 11 goals. Fox is picking up 7. I can't complain with what we did here. Goaltending, was it just really bad or something? What did the goaltending look like? Mario posted a 918 to 237. This was the year to win. This was one of our lone chances to win a Stanley Cup, and the team folded. Why did they always break my heart? The Everett Elks are supposed to be this historic franchise, a franchise known for winning, overcoming adversity. We're getting the 10th overall pick, going through the absolute trenches to Stanley Cup champions. But in this rebuild, they've just stayed in the trenches. They've never gotten out of the trenches. I don't know why. They've just decided, nah, we've become the trenches and we're going to stay at the trenches. Really breaks my heart. Okay, so with the 10th overall pick, we're going to be looking at a medium top 4 defenseman. I think we can do better than that. Plus, the pick that we have has significantly more value than what that player is going to have. So we might as well make a trade here. All right, so this is what we're going to try first. The 10th overall and the 32nd overall over to the Florida Panthers. We're getting Mayer and then we're flipping Mayer. The only reason we're doing things this way is the guy I wanted to pick up from Utah. They're not interested in our assets. However, they are interested in that young player. So if I package up that young player along with the 51st overall, we should be able to get the guy we want. And of course, which guy do I want? Well, the guy drafted 1st overall. So I'll send this package over to Utah and they're accepting. Okay, so more than likely, I'm probably done showing the re-sign phase because this is what it's going to be every year. Just qualifying RFAs. Nothing interesting. I guess I can show this. Sakic smartened up a little bit. We'll do 1.4 for 2 years. So as a third pairing guy, it's not terrible. All right, so we got through the re-sign phase, and you know what that means. We have extensions to give out here. Orlando, we're going to start with you, and honestly, this isn't too bad. You're going to be sticking around for the rest of the rebuild, so I'll probably give you a no movement clause as well. So we'll do $14 million and a no movement. Actually, if I give you that no movement, your contract interest goes up quite a bit. So how about I drop that down to $13 million? We actually might be able to do 12.5. What is 12.5 sounding like for you? You're not really interested in 12.5. How about 12.8? Actually, I'll make that $12.9 million and we'll get this deal done. So 12.9 for the next 7. That's an amazing deal. When it comes to Saulo, I'm not going to give you a no movement, but we are going to do something pretty reasonable here. 10.5 for the next 8. Actually, can we get that sub $10 million? Where are we looking at here? We can do $10 million for the next 8. You have pretty solid contract interest. That's the deal we're doing. I'm going to offer that over to you. More than likely, you're going to be accepting it. And that still leaves us with a fair chunk of money. I mean, not really. We're only going to have $4 million after that deal. So yeah, so those are going to be the only 2 extensions we're giving out. All right, so I'm hoping to go 1-for-1 with the Buffalo Sabres. We're picking up Nikitin for 1 season. We're just going to ride out his contract and trade him away next year. There have been no good players drafted over the last 2 years. Other than Price, who we drafted, it hasn't really been that great. All right, the Vegas Golden Knights actually have a handful of decent young guys here that we could acquire. So we're going to do Buffalo in a 1st round pick, and we're going to see if we can get all 3 of them. They're saying no. What else do you want? I'll actually give you a handful of draft picks here. I'll give you a 2nd as well. I don't want to do multiple first, but if we can get all these young guys, that actually would be really good for us. It basically round out our bottom 6. So they're saying no to that. I'll give you a 3rd rounder as well, and I think this should be enough to get the deal done. There we go. Like, that's one line right there. Now, normally when talking about a team like this, I would talk about how great they are and how many Stanley Cups we've won. Like, there's no way this team fails, right? Like, look at all the amazing talent. Look at our 3 elite defensemen that are leading the way here. All we need is these 3 guys, and the rest of the guys that are going to play their role. When it comes to goaltending, we have a superstar goaltender, a 90 overall in between the pipes. I would like to say this team is dominated. I would have liked to say this team has won a handful of Stanley Cups, and I'd like to say there's no team in the NHL that could compete with us. That's not the case though, so here we are. Still with only 1 Stanley Cup, maybe 2. I mean, we're 20 years in. I think we've won 2 over the past 20, but I actually couldn't tell you. So you know what? We got to change things up here. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. No face cam, no looking at stats, none of that. We're just going to simulate the postseason. You know what? Hold on. We're changing things up big time here. We're simming right to the end of the postseason. We're going to give ourselves enough time. June 13th. Now we're just going to sit here and watch. We're going to watch the postseason simulate, and we're just going to commentate on what happens. We're going to see if the Everett Elks can finally figure it out here. I doubt they'll be able to because they haven't figured it out for the past 20 years, so why would they start to figure it out now? We're taking down the Vegas Golden Knights, and now we get to lose to Edmonton. We know we're going to lose to Edmonton because we always lose to Edmonton. When was one time this team has beat the Edmonton Oilers? Never. It's never happened, and it never will. We just swept the Edmonton Oilers. We are now 8-1 in the postseason. We're coming off a nice little sweep over the Edmonton Oilers, but that means nothing. We just got to keep on rolling here. We have the LA Kings up next. We're dropping game number 1. We're dropping game 3, but don't worry because the boys are on a low win streak right now. A massive game 7 victory puts us in the Stanley Cup final. We have the Detroit Red Wings up next. There is only one team that can stop us now, and that's the Detroit Red Wings. Y'all better not lose. Just keep on rolling. Keep on winning games. We can't stop here. We're winning game 1. We're winning game 2. We're about to sweep the Red Wings. We did it. The Everett Elks won a Stanley Cup. This is what we're doing for the rest of the rebuild. Right after the season ends, we're just simulating the postseason. It worked. It finally worked. The Everett Elks Stanley Cup champions. I can't believe it. In this team's darkest moment, they actually won. The lights have been so bright, and we beat a 60-win team. We beat a 60-win team. We actually beat the best team in the entire league in a sweep. I can't believe the team did it. Briere, you had 76 points. Mario, you were the goaltender. I don't care what your regular season numbers were. I need to see what this man did during the postseason. Offensively, we were great, but it's been goaltending. Goaltending has held us back the entire video. This man went 16-4, a 907, and a 259. Mario won us a Stanley Cup. Who would have thought? We finally did it. We won a Stanley Cup after years of constant disappointment. The entire team stepped up here. We had a couple 1-goal scorers, but they were certainly picking up assists here. The team was incredible. But you know what? I'm not too sure if it's enough. Is a Stanley Cup right here really good enough? We have 3 years left in the rebuild. Let's get 3 more. Also, once again, we got a good pick from San Jose. We got 12th overall, so we can work with that. So we won a Stanley Cup with the face cam off, so you know what that means. The face cam is gone for the rest of the video. We have to build on this momentum, and it definitely has nothing to do with the fact that I just went outside to shovel, and now my face is really red because it's minus 30 out. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. Nope, we are going to build on this momentum. I really wish that was a mediumly potential player. That would have been nice. Now, I never thought I would see the day, especially after us winning a Stanley Cup. A mediumly potential defenseman, not a goalie, a defenseman. So he'll be a valuable trade asset for sure. Alright, so we have a couple people needing extensions on top of trading all these RFAs away. And you know what? We're also going to sign this rookie right here. He's an A3 overall. He'll be under contract for the rest of the video, so we might as well do that. Devin, I'm hoping we can keep you around. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to, but you are asking for 13 million. I don't know if we can do 13 million. Fox, where are you looking for? $12 million. So we can't re-sign both of these guys. Who do I view as more valuable? I guess it depends on who has more trade value. Also, Hickey, what are you looking for? Because maybe we just move you over to winger. Oh, you want 14 million. Okay, yeah, that's not happening. Who's willing to accept a reasonable deal? This man wants 10 million. Okay, yeah, we can't afford everyone here. So we're going to be making some moves. That doesn't really surprise me, though. All right, so this is the first deal. It's going to be Fox over to the Florida Panthers. We're picking up Henrich. Henrich is on a pretty solid contract, 8.8 for the next 5 years. We can definitely work with that here. We'll throw in a couple draft picks, and we'll get this deal done. I don't think it's going to cost us too many draft picks. We'll start with a 3rd and 4th rounder, and that's going to be enough. So that's deal number 1. So Eckford used to be on this team. You know what? We're bringing him back. $10 million for the next 3. It's better than what we're going to have to pay Devin here. And similar to the last trade, we got to throw in a couple draft picks. It won't be too much, though. We'll start with this 2nd rounder, and I believe that should be enough, and it looks like it will be. Alright, so this is what we're doing. Hickey over to the Anaheim Ducks. We're getting the guy that drafted 1st overall. They want a 7th round pick as well. We can certainly do that. So we're picking up the 1st overall pick. He's locked down for the next 3 years on his entry-level contract. That's a nice cheap deal for us. So we're not done with the deals net. Now Brunette's going to be traded over to the Minnesota Wild, and we're going to be getting a mediumly potential player from them. He was a top 3 pick. Or at least a top 4 pick. I don't know what he is. All I know is he has mediumly potential. He's an 83 overall, and he's locked down for the next 3. But there's one more guy we got to get, and he plays for the Washington Capitals right now. So here's the final deal. It's going to be Nickyton over to the Washington Capitals. We're getting this mediumly potential player. He's on his entry-level contract, 82 overall. That's probably going to be the final deal we do. So I actually lied. There's one more deal we have to pull off here. McGuire, you've never turned to that top player I thought you would. So we're going to pick up this guy from the Nashville Predators, $13 million for the next 3 years. He's going to be sticking around for the rest of the rebuild here. We almost have everybody under contract for the rest of the rebuild, so hopefully 2 first-round picks is going to be enough here. The Everett Elks are ready to finish this off with a 4-peat. So with the face cam off, this is a completely different team. The Everett Elks are now built different just because the face cam's off. This team's going to win another Stanley Cup here. They're a completely different team. No face cam Everett Elks. this team's undefeated. Alright, so last season we looked at the stats and the record of the team after the postseason, so we're going to do the exact same thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're taking on the Seattle Kraken in the first round. The Everett Elks look pretty solid this season, but does that translate into the postseason? We're actually yet to see. We are about to sweep the Seattle Kraken though. Can we close it out here? Yes, we can. A nice little sweep over the Kraken to start the postseason. I certainly won't complain about that. Moving on to the second round, we're going to have the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the Edmonton Oilers have been a little bit of trouble for us, but you know what? I think this Everett Elks team might be built different. We won 7 straight games. Can we win 8 straight games? It doesn't look like it, but you know what? It's time for the boys to start a new winning streak. We've moved on to the conference finals. We're 8-1 in the postseason so far. Has the face cam just been unlucky? I think it has been. The face cam has been unlucky. We're 12-1. We're in the Stanley Cup final. So we get to match up against the Detroit Red Wings yet again here. It's an old classic matchup. The Everett Elks taking on the Red Wings. Can the Everett Elks come on top again? Yes, they can, because this team is absolutely dominating. We are choking. Never mind. No, we aren't. Back-to-back Stanley Cups for the Everett Elks. Things look fantastic through the first 3 games, and I got nervous right around here, but the boys are going to close it out when it matters most. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champs for the Everett Elks. What is going on with this team? Ever since we started simulating the entire postseason, things have been amazing for us. When the regular season ended, we were the best team in the entire league, 60 wins here. We didn't have a point-a-game score, but Bernier was pretty solid, 76 points. Then we're going to have a 74-point score, a 72-point score. Like usual, we have an amazing offensive depth here. Mario is going to be spectacular once again, and do I keep him on the team? That's the real question. If we want to keep him on the team, we have to free up some cap space, but bro was amazing this season. So yeah, this is a tough decision we have to make here. Do we keep Mario around? I don't know how much money he's looking for. I don't know how much we're going to have to clear up here, but yeah, it could be a little difficult. Like Mario's going to be looking for $11 million. We actually might be able to make that work. Who could we trade away here? I'm pretty sure we have somebody we could trade away. Alright, we could get really risky. We could trade Bernier away. I know he was one of our best players. However, we trade him away. He's a 90 overall. Price moves up in the lineup. We're not going to be paying him too much, and he's an 85 overall. He could definitely step into a bigger role here. Does he have a good fit? He has a pretty solid fit on that first line. So yeah, I think we might be doing that. Bernier, we're going to trade you away, and then we're going to keep Mario around. Also, I never looked at the postseason stats, so how about we go take a look at that? If Bernier stepped up in the postseason, maybe we keep him around here. But no, bro was kind of mid. 18 points in 19 games. Granted, we only played 19 games, but he wasn't a superstar by any means. Mario, on the other hand, he was really good, and he's been winning with us, so I want to keep him around. Okay, there's a franchise potential player projected #1. That is very interesting. I low-key want him. Okay, you gotta trust the process here. We're gonna get that franchise potential player. Briere, we're gonna trade you away. You have franchise potential, but you're 34 years old. You're only gonna get worse. We get the first overall pick, and then we're gonna flip the first overall pick. I have a big plan here. This is a big brain plan, but we gotta make sure they accept this deal. They're saying no so far. Is this gonna be enough here? Bro, just give me the first overall pick. That's all I want. Surprisingly, that wasn't a massive overpayment, even though it seems like it would be. So we're getting this franchise potential defenseman right here, starting off as an 81 overall, but we might be trading him away. Alright, so Mario, we want to keep you around on the team. You're a critical piece, but we have to do 2 years here. We're going to do 2 years at $10 million, probably give you a no movement clause. That's actually a really good deal. So we'll do $10 million for the next 2 as long as he's willing to accept that. I think that's a pretty fair deal for him. He's a superstar goaltender. He's going to get paid like one. He's won us a handful of Stanley Cups. I know I don't really like paying goaltenders a lot of money, but you know what? It's kind of working out for us. Okay, because he rejected that last offer, we have to give him a bit more. We're going to do $11.1 million for the next 2 now. Probably shouldn't have insulted him with that last offer, but this should be enough to bring Mario to the team. He's coming back. Now we just have to make a couple more small deals. Alright, so as you guys know, I always like to rock the same team for the final 2 years, so that's what we're going to do here. Arvidsson's going to be sticking around with the team. We're going to do 14.5 for the next 7 years. He's getting a no movement clause, so he'll be accepting that one. That doesn't leave us with too much money to work with, but we really don't have that many players to bring back. We actually might not have to bring back anybody. We might already be good to go. Okay, so this is what we're doing. The franchise potential player we drafted, we're trading to Philadelphia. We're getting an 86 overall rookie. We're getting Shea, he's a good defenseman, and 2 first-round picks. However, we are going to flip a couple of those assets. So what we're going to do now is Shea's going to be traded away along with the 7th-round pick, and we're going to be getting Coyle under contract for the next 2 years. A good left defenseman. He's going to keep on getting better. And then I believe this is going to be the final move of the video. It's going to be Philly's first-round pick and our first-round pick sent over to the Nashville Predators. We're getting Ottoson here. He's going to be a good left defenseman for us. He's going to play in the 3rd pairing. Now we should be ready to go. Now everyone's locked down for the next 2 years. We're bringing home 2 more Stanley Cups, that's for sure. So we're coming off back-to-back Stanley Cups. We're looking to make it 3 in a row, and then we're going to finish it off with 4 in a row. The team you see right here, this is going to be the same team next season. We're in an amazing spot right now. We have all the pieces that we need in order to win, including Mario. Now, the only difference with Mario now is he just got his bag. So now that he's been paid, is he going to continue to perform? because it hasn't really worked for us in the past. Every time a goaltender gets his bag, he completely folds. So the Everett Elks dream is going to continue here. We're going to continue to simulate the entire postseason and just commentate over it. It's been working for us the past couple of years, and you know what? It's going to continue to work. We're splitting the first 2 games. Game number 3 is going to be big, and we're going to be shutting out the Edmonton Oilers. The Everett Elks have finally found their voice, and they continue to win here. I think I accidentally paused it. Oh no. I messed up the momentum. I messed everything up here. If we lose in the postseason, it's all my fault. I accidentally hit circle. I didn't mean to. It's over. The Everett Elks don't have a chance now. I messed everything up for them, but maybe I didn't. 6-1 to start the postseason. Okay, now it's falling apart. Everything's falling apart now. Can we close it out? Yes, we can. We've moved on to the conference finals. The Everett Elks in the past 3 years have been a dominant force nobody can keep up with, and you know what? It's going to stay that way, and we've made it here again. The Stanley Cup final against the Detroit Red Wings, a team we have seen time and time again, and we're going to see them again here in the Stanley Cup final. It's Everett versus Detroit. We beat them 2 times in a row. Let's make it 3 times in a row, but we're dropping the first 2 games. Can we make the massive comeback here? Yes, we can. The Everett Elks, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, a 3-peat with 1 season left. We're running it back with the exact same team. We can't be stopped now. I don't know why all of a sudden this team is winning Stanley Cups, but they are. In the final years, this team is showing up when it matters most. We won 53 games, but that's not going to be best in the entire league. We were actually behind the Detroit Red Wings when it comes to points, but we're still going to be coming out on top. The Everett Elks, they're just built different. Our leading score is going to be picking up 86 this season, so we did have 1 point a game score. Scoring depth was amazing. Mario, that's your 3rd straight Stanley Cup. I think we might have just been lacking a goaltender all along. Maybe every goalie we have brought to the team has just been an absolute fraud, and we finally found our man in Mario, and he's been the difference maker. A 922 and a 241, 3 shutouts. Bro has been incredible the past 3 postseasons. Just look at these numbers. Ever since we brought him to the team, he has been incredible. We've made to the Stanley Cup final in 4 straight years, winning 3 of them, and now it's time to finish this off with a 4-peat. Let's go get that final Stanley Cup. So it all comes down to this. 1 final season. We've won 3 straight Stanley Cups. We're going for the 4-peat here. This team's been unstoppable the past 3 years, and we're about to make it unstoppable for the past 4. We're going to see the Red Wings in the Stanley Cup final, but we know what's going to happen. So here we go, the 4-peat. All we have to do is win 1 more Stanley Cup, and we get a 4-peat here. Things are looking not too bad. I mean, at least we're splitting the series here. I would like to take a commanding lead, and that's what we're doing in Game 3. Let's win another game in Game 4. Okay, I'm getting a little bit nervous with the Everett Elks here, but a 6-0 shutout, that's giving me a lot of confidence. We're moving on to the second round, and who do we get to take on? The Edmonton Oilers, a team that we have dominated the past couple years, so I'm not scared of Edmonton anymore. We're going to win this series, but we are dropping the first 2 games, but I believe in Everett. Okay, I'm starting to question Everett a little bit here. We got swept. In the year we go for the 4-peat, the Everett Elks are getting swept, and they're going to lose their final chance at a Stanley Cup. That one hurts my soul. It hurts my soul a lot. The Everett Elks had another chance at winning a Stanley Cup here, but they're not going to be able to close it out. How could this happen? How could this happen for the Everett Elks? The playoffs are complete. The Everett Elks' historic run is over here. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. The Everett Elks are done. Now, over the last 25 years, the Everett Elks have done some amazing things. Most of them came in the past 5 years. We made it to 4 straight Stanley Cup finals, winning 3 of them, and then we got swept to the Edmonton Oilers in the final year. But yeah, this team, they made me question a lot of things. Gavin McKenna is going to be our all-time leader in seasons played at 15. He's also going to lead the way in games played at 1,230. Briere is going to lead us in goals with 490. McKenna's leading us in assists, 843. And he's also going to lead us in points with 1,200. Wilson Hamilton was our big defenseman. He also picked up a lot of penalty minutes, 753. And then when it comes to wins and shutouts, you land off. I'm not a fan of you. You were great during the regular season. You never stepped up in the postseason. You never stepped up once. When it comes to single season records, we might as well take a look at those because we had some historic ones. When it comes to games played, because injuries were off, everyone played 82 games. Mark Barnaby, though, 83 goals in 82 games, an incredible season. Gavin McKenna, 85 assists. Barnaby also picked up 130 points one season. Hamilton picked up 110 penalty minutes. And then you land off, you also had some records. We're not going to talk about those. When it comes to our single game records, I'm very surprised to see Marchenko picking up 5 goals in a game, considering Briere averaged a goal per game. He averaged a goal per game, but never had over 5 in a game. Bro had an amazing career, but I guess Marchenko was just going to outwork him in that one game. Gavin McKenna, 6 assists. Marchenko, 7 points coming in that 5-goal game. And then, of course, we have to see at least one stick on the ice legend. That's going to be Ricky Lafleur with 58 saves. The Everett Elks were a historic franchise. Unfortunately, this team didn't see a lot of success until the final 5 years. As I said, in the final 5 years, 4 Stanley Cup finals, 3 Stanley Cups. But yeah, the Everett Elks should have been way better than this, but we constantly had goaltenders letting us down. I'm going to blame this all on goalies, except for Mario. Mario is the one goaltender that we can't blame because he was the only one that stepped up for us. The biggest disappointment when it comes to goaltending, it actually wasn't Ulandov. It was Ivan Kovic, because bro never got over a 78 overall. He was supposed to be a franchise goalie for this team, and he never progressed over a 78 overall. I don't know how that happened, considering after we signed him to his entry-level contract, he hit a 78 overall within 2 years, so he peaked at 21 years old. 21 years old was the beginning of his prime and the end of his prime. I don't even know how that happens, but yeah, Ivan Kovic, you let me down big time.